This is one of those esoteric questions that is one like a Rorschach test. How would you prefer to lose a game? Like that? With a last-second field goal? Or one of those epic beatdowns where when you, after the first snap, you realized I didn't get them ready and this is going to be a long day? Which would be the easiest way to wake up on a Sunday morning?
Well, I never did good on multiple choice.
Come on, Coach. It's clock method.
I like the one that says all the above, right? That's the one I hate the most, all the above, right? But that one was tough just because we weren't prepared to play, obviously. We lost the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball. We lost the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball, and then we turned it over. And what I told my team, and I feel strongly about this, desperate people live differently than prosperous people. And we look like a prosperous football team that had just won the Western Conference Championship. We were talking about putting pictures on the wall of players making great plays, and they look like a desperate team trying to get into a bowl game and not get their season ruined. And that's my fault. I'm the head coach, and I didn't get them ready.
Well, that's easy to say, but it was a long time getting to this. And I checked. I don't think there's going to be rain on Friday, so maybe that little reason or excuse can go away too. But when you see that kind of game going the way that it did, at what point do you go, it's time to start looking forward? I mean,
that's a great question, but you can only travel 70 players on road games. So there were players, in the game I couldn't even get out.
Right.
I need to get out of the game, but you just don't have anybody to put in the game. So it was very NFL-like. My son coaches with the Saints, which I've mentioned before, and it reminded me of sometimes those teams will clinch and they got to play one more game before the playoffs. But the NFL is only like a 47-man roster. So it's really you just got to get through it. And I will say this, our young kids that went out there now, they played their tails off.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Eddie Lee went out there, Donye Taylor, Cyrus, Brandon Brown. We had some really good young players go out there that just kept making plays that I was very, very proud of. And I understand that fan base doesn't really care to watch all that kind of stuff in a blowout. But when you're a coach and you recruited those kids, it's good to see they were still competing all the way to the end of that thing.
Jeff Traylor joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. This Friday, 6:00, Western Kentucky will be here. It is a title game. You said it, the best quarterback in the country. Tell us about him.
Yeah, statistically, he's the absolute best. He was an All-American player at HBU, and then they hired, I know we saw this before, but Saints play him again, right? So the offensive coordinator went over there, the receivers went over there. And a crazy stat, he's completed, and I might be wrong on this, but it's somewhere like this. Bailey has completed, like his receiver he brought with him, the Stearns kid from Waxahachie, and Bailey was from Victoria.
Right.
376 passes to this one kid in their career, to one kid, not like the whole receivers, just to that one kid in his career. So think about the space repetition, the time on task those two have had together. And I will say, Bailey's very, very good, but we've got a good quarterback too. And Frank's going to show up and play his tail off like he always does.
When you see an air raid kind of offense like you're about to see, how does that affect your practice week?
Well, it's difficult because it's just hard to replicate that. And they've been doing it so long together. And our fan base is going to be very important Friday night because he checks so many things at the line of scrimmage. He can tell when you're bringing pressure. He knows when you're not bringing pressure. He knows when you're dropping too many people out. He gets them to a run play. So their communication at the line of scrimmage, we have to be so loud in that Alamo Dome, they cannot change their plays if they catch us in a look that they know what we're fixing to do.
What tape you looking at with them? Is it tech?
No, we just watch them. We're studying them. I mean, there's so much video to watch, and they do a different version of the same thing every week, which is what all good offenses do. But Marshall, 53 points, FAU, 52, Rice, 42, Middle Tennessee, 48, 45 on Charlotte, 43 on Old Dominion, 46 on us, 59 on UT Martin. No one's figured out a way to stop them yet, unfortunately.
So with that in mind, are you ready for a track meet on Friday?
Well, whatever it takes, right? I mean, last time we beat them, we played as good as we ever have offensively. And you have to just prepare yourself that they might get theirs. Now, my defense doesn't want to hear it, and they'll be coming guns a-blazing, especially after our poor performance Saturday. I know our defense will have – I bet we look like a desperate team Friday night. I bet we don't look very prosperous in the way we play Friday night.
Jeff Traylor joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. We get ready for a championship game Friday. Let's fill that dome. It'll be kickoff at 6 o'clock. Are you surprised at all at the outpouring of the GoFundMe for getting the kids some tickets and all that and what San Antonio has done? Or was this one of those things that you felt like if I put in the work and get everything moving right, San Antonio will jump in line?
You don't sign 10-year contracts unless you feel like the city is going to take care of the program. And even after our loss, obviously I've had some pretty ugly things said to me, but the people that have been in our corner the entire time are more committed now than ever. And that just reaffirms our belief in staying here and the commitment of April and Sarah and fellow business people like her that really want to do what's best for the players and the road runners. And any money extra will go towards our bowl game. There's so many things that go on that bowl game that people don't really realize, from bowl rings to how much of a fun experience do you want your kids to have when they go on the bowl experience. So Dr. Compost has done a good job of getting that for us, and I appreciate everybody helping.
We want $50K or better in the dome on Friday. He's head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners. They did their job. It's time for y'all to do yours. Go get those tickets. Let's fill this place on Friday. Well, Coach, we bid you a good week of practice. Stay healthy, baby. We're almost there. The finish line is in sight. Coach Traylor, have a good week. We'll talk to you next.
Well, sorry we didn't get it done. I know how disappointed everybody is.
10-1, Coach. Sucks. You know.
I'm the head coach. What's on me? So apologize. God bless. And birds up. And by the way, Rudy, we're 11-1.
I'm sorry, man.
I mean, Rob. Sorry, Rob.
No, we're 11-1. Let's not sell it short. 11-1. We appreciate you, Coach. Yeah, it's the championship. We have a championship game on Friday. It's always a pleasure to have Coach. And
hey, did Rudy just ditch us?
Rudy, you know what? That turkey got good to him. He called me last night about 8 o'clock. And I could hear music in the background saying, I think I'm going to stay with my mama one more night. So how do you say no to that?
Tell him we missed him. God bless. Birds up.
You bet, Coach. Jeff Traylor here as he joins us every Monday. 11-1 and the man's apologizing. Can you imagine if we'd have sitting on August the 1st when we were looking forward to this season, if you'd have thought at the end of November we'd be talking about 11-1 and a conference championship, and we have a coach coming on saying he is sorry?
Unfathomable. Even the people that follow him were projecting 6-6, 7-5, maybe the kind of 8-4 season. And if this happened where the one loss was at the early part of the season, nobody would care.
And I'll say it again. I travel a little bit. I get a chance to meet with other sports types than other markets, and never have I had more opportunity to talk UTSA with it being brought up by others than I have over the last 6 months. It's just never happened before. The last 3 weeks, I get calls from other markets. Let's talk UTSA football. I'm unaccustomed to that. I guess I should get used to it. Coach, no need for apologies. 11-1, it's far more than we could have ever dreamed of. Well, it's a strange morning. If you're just joining us, we've already had head coach of your Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, come on and talk about losing 3 out of 4. And certainly there's some there's reasons and excuses. We're going to look forward to that. We're going to if you missed Coach Jeff Traylor, any of his at 8:45, we'll replay that and it'll be floating around on our socials. We haven't gotten into the chaos that was college football. Lincoln Riley is a new head coach, or has a new gig on the West Coast. We're going to look at that for sure. But hey, let's get you caught up on the headlines. It's been a long time since I think a lot of you have really zeroed in. Though, dude, Karl, how much? I saw you did at least one Spurs game.
I did both Spurs games over the weekend.
I saw one that you did. So we had Austin Spurs, so you got to take that in. College basketball has been completely nuts. This was, what do they call it? Feast week is what it was all last week. I've watched more sports over the last 4 days than I think I have in several years. It was an extraordinary Thanksgiving. How was your Turkey Day, Karl? A lot of driving?
Pretty good. Yeah, I was in Houston with the girlfriend's family, and they had obviously the Cowboys game was on, but before that, my girlfriend's brother-in-law is a Lions fan. I'm sorry, Tommy, but yeah, so we watched that game. So nobody was happy when it came time to eat after both games, but it's all good. I was happy because I'm an Eagles fan, and then they blew it.
Man.
Come on, they had a chance, and they don't deserve to get in that wild card or playoff spot because they can't score 14 points on the Giants.
You notice the pre-games, especially on the Fox feed, because I guess that's where they were going to show the game, that there was a lot of talk about the Eagles. Cowboys better look out. Here come the Eagles.
Yeah.
Better look out. Eagles looking good. They're rounding into form. 3 interceptions later. So they sit.
And I was expecting an offensive shootout because usually when you fire your offensive coordinator like the Giants did with Jason Garrett, that was very nice of them to do right before Thanksgiving. They all of a sudden put up 13 points, excuse me. It was a mess. I was not very pleased as a Eagles fan yesterday, and I feel like I wasted about 3 hours.
Yeah, that would have been huge for them. I think the biggest one over the weekend was the Bucs. Going into the Colts and beating them the way that they did, that was huge. The Patriots still look good. I'm not going to take anything away from what the Patriots are, 6 straight wins. But watching Tampa Bay play the way that they did when Tom Brady didn't play particularly well, they finally ran the ball a little bit. That was a big win.
I think we're setting up for a Bucs-Patriots Super Bowl, maybe.
Maybe. I will be the last one convinced. I'm not saying that I won't be convinced, but we'll get to the headlines.
Sorry, I was trying to get them ready.
No worries that I can't be convinced, but there's a reason why there has never been a rookie quarterback not win the Super Bowl, even in the Super Bowl. There's a reason why. It's because eventually a rookie going to go rookie.
I was listening to Kellerman before the show today, and he said eventually at some point you would expect a rookie quarterback to make it to the Super Bowl. Why not a Bill Belichick rookie quarterback?
I'm not saying it won't happen, but until I start feeling like it will, and I'm not sure I feel like it right now, because the Titans, they're a wounded duck, man. There's all kinds so while it looked impressive, every win in hindsight, you go, well, the team they beat was there were issues. We'll find out.
There's something about peaking at the right time. And I get the feeling they're peaking at the wrong time because they would rather be playing this well going into the playoffs as opposed to right here in the heart of the season. But then again, you never know what happens. You have this hot stretch, and then maybe you get a couple losses out of your system, and then you go on another hot stretch. That's all that it takes.
Well, this year, as much as last, and we can see it with the Cowboys, COVID protocol will be that wild card that could be the great equalizer as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. And my goodness, I mean, we all see what's going on in the world, that Omicron variant.
The variant that's supposed to be 500% more transmissible or something along those lines.
It's already popped up in Portugal, and you just know it's going to be coming here soon. So protocols and all that looks like it's headed our direction.
Stay safe, people.
Stay safe, people, and get yourself vaxxed if you haven't already. All right, let's get everybody caught up. Headlines are what you deserve, and that's what Karl's got. Let's give him the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
You mentioned it earlier about Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma for USC. Well, he might be taking some highly rated recruits with him. 5-star quarterback Malachi Nelson among Oklahoma's decommits following Lincoln Riley's move to USC, as well as the number 3 ranked prospect in ESPN Junior 300 for the class of 2023. So they're going to be losing a lot more. There's going to be more fallout here as the Sooners are in limbo with coaching.
Bob Bowlesby, the commissioner of the Big 12's telling all the OU types, welcome to the party. This is what it's like when you find out one of your key components is going to another conference. I had heard all weekend long that he was leaving, but it was going to be LSU. I'd heard that from 2 different sources. I saw it floated someplace else. There was an OU type that I know is very close to the program, even up until Friday, thought they had him, that it was done. But USC, that's a huge get for them. I think they finally got it right. But does it feel like Lincoln's running? That Lincoln decided, I don't coach an SEC style. I coach a Big 12, Pac-12 style. I coach Heisman candidate quarterbacks. And it's hard to be a Heisman candidate quarterback and put up the kind of yards it takes to win a Heisman and stay upright. Ask Matt Corral over at Ole Miss. It's hard to be a quarterback in the SEC. It's hard for me to recruit him to stay here. I feel like he's running. But, hey, good get for them. Now, who's next for OU? I'm reading it's going to be an NFL type.
That makes sense, especially considering the reasons you just gave to why Lincoln Riley's probably going to the Pac-12. My view on it, and I understand and don't disagree with your thought process, he's escaping Oklahoma for L.A.
There's certainly that, man. No kidding. And Stoops stepping back into the void, man.
You know, that's the biggest thing I see from Oklahoma fans here is that Bob Stoops stepped down early because they didn't want to lose Lincoln Riley. And now as they enter probably one of the biggest chapters in this program's history going into the almighty SEC, they lose him. And you got to figure out what's going to happen following that because Oklahoma is probably still I would say, top 20 job in football, not just 10. College football, but football.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just kind of depends who can they pick from right now. And then will this be the guy that takes them into the SEC, or is this going to start a vicious cycle of finding a new coach every 3 years, similar to what UT has, because they have such high expectations at Oklahoma that a 4-loss season, you start to think that someone's going to be on the hot seat.
What about Stoops?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, he was the one that always had the trouble with the SEC anyway. Before he retired, he was always firing off just a little bit of something for SEC. So if I'm OU, I would be happy if I could convince him to come back. But I don't think that's the direction they're going to go, nor does it the direction that he wants to go. But, man, good job, USC. Maybe you get some of those recruits now with LSU. I wonder how much of those Jimbo rumors are true. We'll see in the next 3 or 4 days. Moving on.
Well, they have a lot of money to go after him. I'm sure they do.
Yes, they do.
Headline 1.
Struggling Cam Newton benched by Carolina Panthers in the fourth quarter of a blowout loss. Newton's storybook beginning to his second stint with the Panthers came to a crashing halt Sunday when he was benched in the fourth quarter of Carolina's 33-10 loss to the Miami Dolphins. Newton was replaced by P.J. Walker with just over 10 minutes remaining and the Panthers trailing by 20.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about it when he came back that Matt Rule was a genius because he put Cam Newton in situations that he could only be successful in. You didn't have to throw downfield, didn't have to drive the ball with that bad shoulder. He got to run one in and little play action work there on the goal line. Cam Newton is the same Cam Newton that they let go. His arm is done. He can't drive the ball downfield. He can throw it deep if he gets a chance to loft it. But if you're looking for a 15-yard out, it ain't coming. So you don't have to defend it when you play Cam Newton. That's nothing new. They were getting beat. I don't think that the story is done, but there's film now, Cam. We know who you are, and it's up to Rule to figure something out. You got that lies as much as on Rule in that offense as it does on Cam Newton. But that's what we should have expected anyway.
So a buddy of mine that played quarterback at Texas State, Sean Rutherford, was Cam Newton's receiver at Blinn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I follow him on Twitter, Sean Rutherford, that is. And he was saying, give me some time in the offseason. I'll work that out for you. So he thinks it's mechanics more than it is anything else. You never know. Maybe just a couple tweaks to mechanics might help him out a little bit. But, yeah, it seems to be that the passing Cam Newton, he used to be really good with the deep ball. That's not there anymore. And, you know, that goes away. And then you're not necessarily Superman either with your feet when you hit a certain age and get so many miles on your body. So I think this is probably a nice story that won't have a storybook ending.
Well, not as bad. It won't be as bad as this. He'll get another start. You might start. I would start him next week and just know what you got. But Carolina's got a lot of issues, and it's, you know, only one of them is at quarterback. Moving on.
Headline 0.
The Milwaukee Bucks are signing center DeMarcus Cousins to a non-guaranteed deal. The Bucks will sign the 4-time All-Star sometime this week. Cousins, who's an old 31, will sign a non-guaranteed deal to join the defending NBA champions, sources told Adrian Wojnarowski. Teams must guarantee contracts for the balance of the season by January 7th.
He's done.
Yeah, I
I mean,
kind of
the
agree.
guy's
Yeah.
cooked. I guess the Bucks. He's not Carmelo. Sadly, he's not capable of doing what Carmelo's been able to do and just continue to get buckets. But I guess if I've got a championship aspiration, and maybe there'll be a night when I need 16 points from a big and a couple of assists, and maybe I'll get that's an RPP get.
Yeah, it's kicking the tires on him. There's probably some issues because the Bucks are not up to defending champion level, and they're maybe going to bring in some competition just among that front court. And, he was at one point the most talented player in the NBA. And
that's a big step. But I agree that
was like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
and not
there's
counting
a skill
LeBron
set.
and the guys that are at that level. The talent that needed to be developed never actually hit its peak. And it's probably a lot to do with attitude issues that he always had in his career. But he could have been a top 10 player in the NBA if he ever put it all together. He just never put it all together.
Should have been. Neck up, neck down. He had both physical and mental.
Yeah, when it started to seem that he was figuring out that his attitude was the issue, that's when the injuries started to come on. What, did he tear his Achilles, and then he tore his quad, and I want to say he tore his ACL. He's an old 31, like I said.
You make a John Wall talking about coming back.
That's a weird situation because they want him to come off of the bench, and I suppose he doesn't want to come off of the bench, which I understand in a way, but you're making $40 million a year. Play the role that your team asks you to play.
I feel like he's trying to speed things up. This is the first button you press. I want to play. Not going to let me play?
No one's
Trade
trading.
me.
No one's trading for him. That's
40
the
million,
issue.
no kidding. Do something.
Buy me out and give me the rest of my $80 million that y'all owe me.
Move along.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Hey, coming back, we'll look at what the Cowboys did and did not do. The weekend in the NFL, Brett Favre with his broken toe didn't seem to slow him down much. What do we think of the power rankings as we sit today? Where did the Cowboys land? The Texans, well, they went down again. Rams, they go down. Packers, they win. Baltimore wins. Who's the best team in the NFL right now? I couldn't tell you. It might be the Patriots. At least they're the hottest team in the NFL. Is it the Bucks? On the road in Indianapolis, that's a big win. I don't think they're getting enough credit for what they did, and they did it in an un-Buckian fashion. Leonard Fournette on the ground, the kind of thing that Brady needs, because I've got him on my fantasy team. It wasn't a stellar passing performance by any stretch, but that's the kind of thing that the Bucks need. And did you see the Bengals dismantle the Steelers? Regular season sweep. That's the first time they've done it since 2009. The second largest win total since 1989. Joe Mixon might very well be the best running back in the NFL. Let's look around the NFL when we come back. Things are separating, but there are so many questions. We do not have a odds-on favorite, I don't think. And we'll also light a victory cigar at 7:45. What did we see to cheer for? Lots to talk about today. You are on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 at 94.5 FM. There's a lot of talk about whether Zeke is going to play on Thursday. I'm sure if he had the wherewithal, he would head over to Arasti to work out those kinks and things that he's dealing with. See, if you're living in pain, like most NFL players are right now, don't. You can get yourself out quickly. You don't have to have a professional level therapist to take care of that. You can head over to Arasti. These guys are beyond that. Arasti providers all around San Antonio provide the very best coverage and getting you out of those ongoing painful soft tissue injuries and chronic painful injuries like sprains and pulls. Arasti is a funny name, but you can be pain and injury free in just a few visits at an Arasti certified provider. Your initial consultation, your provider will perform a thorough clinical evaluation. They'll assess your condition, determine the root cause of the injury, the pain, and fix that. And it's amazing when they fix the injury, the pain will go away. I'm not talking about over-the-counter prescribed painkillers. I'm not talking about surgery or some kind of long-term, slow fix treatment program. I'm talking about short-term fixes that work so well that the likes of Becky Hammond and Clayton Kershaw and Tony Parker, just to name a few, utilize Arosty to get themselves back in the game. When you call an Arosty provider, you are never going to need a referral, and they do accept most insurances when you walk in the door. Here's the number you need. It's 1-800-404-6050. Again, 1-800-404-6050. I want you to check out their website, arosty.com, to see all the patient testimonies, the 5-star reviews, a map of all the different providers, and not the least of which, all the tips and tricks, all the things that'll teach you how to stay out of pain. Anyone can benefit, young or old, all aches, all pains. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. My goodness, an Arosty provider is close. Call them today. Get yourself fixed, and I'm sure when you do, you'll thank me later.
Their games. And there are games. Welcome to a whole new season of the NBA, right here on ESPN Radio. Get the latest news, moves, analysis, and more. The NBA plays here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month and no contract. Plus, get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
How's your cell phone coverage? How's your cell phone bill? You know, a lot of big carriers overcharge you for unlimited data. They brag about coverage, but that's only if you live in the city. This is Greg Akagi. I've been an agriculture director for over 20 years, and I know what people outside the city need. Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you great 5G coverage for about half of what Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge you. The average family saves over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or save on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With their U.S.-based customer service, I believe in the way Pure Talk treats their customers. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say half off.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Yep, I said before. Block heartburn at the source by taking the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. With just 1 pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn relief. That's all day. Start the 2-week challenge today at prilosecotc.com and live heartburn-free. Just 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
I have a personal printer for my home office. Now I just need a personal supply closet.
With Staples Connect, it's possible.
I need the same setup for my home as I have at the office, without twice the cost.
Also possible, because Staples Connect has the tools your business needs to get work done. Now get 20% back in a Staples store bonus when you buy any 2 ink or toner cartridges. Explore what's new at Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 12/11, limit 2, in-store only. Visit staplesconnect.com/store bonus for details.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing a medical problem of any kind, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find medical care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health comes to you. That's right. Receive high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort of your own home when you need it. Just call or click, and Dispatch Health comes to your home, able to treat common to complex illnesses and injuries. It's really that simple. Go to dispatchhealth.com now to learn more and download the app so you're always just the touch of a button away from the quality health care you need. Dispatch Health is affordable and in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare. It's true high-quality care from expertly trained medical medical professionals in the ease and comfort of your own home, all for an affordable price. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay comfortable, and let Dispatch Health come to you. Go to dispatchhealth.com and say hello to the modern-day house call. That's dispatchhealth.com. Go to dispatchhealth.com.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
The Houston Texans fall to 2-9 on the season following a 21-14 loss to the New York Jets in a battle for the bottom of the AFC. Houston is now tied with Jacksonville for the second worst record in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys are going back to virtual meetings following a positive COVID test of offensive lineman Terrence Steele and several assistant coaches. Steele will miss this Thursday night's game against the Steelers. And in the NBA, all three Texas teams are in action, with the Rockets hosting the Thunder at 7, Dallas going up against the Cavaliers at 7:30, and the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Washington Wizards at the AT&T Center, also at 7:30 this evening. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain like Heather?
I have terrible arthritis and have had it for quite a while. And I've gone to all kinds of doctors trying to figure out what to do. And everybody just said surgery. And surgery was months of rehab. And I didn't want to do that.
But then Heather discovered QC Kinetics, local medical professionals who specialize in natural biologic treatments, non-invasive solutions designed to repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. And she absolutely loves the results.
I like to tell anybody who's suffering that there are options that are not steroids, that are not surgery. You owe it to yourself to find out about QC Kinetics and find out what they can do for you.
No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Discover QC Kinetics and learn more about natural biologic treatments with lasting results.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today. 210-571-0318.
An accident with a company car, truck, SUV, van, or fleet vehicle is not just another car accident. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
How do I know this check's going to clear? Is your money any good? I heard about you guys like that. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. We've already bought $1 billion worth of your used cars in 2021. $1 billion with a B. That means we do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. And our money's good. And our transaction's good. We've got our stuff together. 1,000 to 100 grand, we're all over it. Where? Only at GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career, working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Why is this oven still going? Hi, this is Dinesh.
Dinesh's bakery just landed a sweet catering contract.
40 dozen fritters? Friday at 5 a.m.?
He needs an event planner to help him rise to the occasion.
Oh, every Friday at 5 a.m. Not a problem.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
A double shot of energy in the AM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning here on San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Rob Thompson. Rudy J taking another day. Staying with Mama. Karl Schoenig sitting with me today, as always. We're going till 10 o'clock.
Notice how Jason Minix offers to sit in an hour with Rudy J when you're gone, but Jason doesn't extend the same offer to you.
I didn't ask him because it's Monday. I know everybody's been off for a week, and I figured he's been going to be running ragged. And to be real frank, in the radio business, we got a couple things in the can to kind of make things easier. We got a couple things that we're going to can up for you. They'll still taste fresh, though they're not. You know what I'm talking about. Right after 8 o'clock is head coach of your Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, will join us. Actually, he joined us this morning a little after 6:40, to be truthful, but a lot of people sleeping through that, and this is kind of a weird one. It's Wednesday in the Dallas Cowboy world as they get ready to take on the New Orleans Saints and the Hoodats on Thursday. Cowboys lost 3 of 4. 7-4. The doubters are jumping off. It's funny how Belichick gets the credit. 6 wins. He's going to the Super Bowl, baby, even though it's a rookie quarterback. And they're playing AFC teams that are the Titans. That was a good win. It wasn't a great win. The Titans they didn't have a wide receiver on the roster. They were going to go E. King Gill on this yesterday. They're going to pull a 12th man out of the stadium. To their credit, though, they fought hard. Did you hear the stat that Vrabel had more touchdown catches in his career as a linebacker than anybody on his roster playing yesterday at wide receiver?
That's insane.
So you wonder why the Patriots go off.
Yeah, you can't really give read too much into that win, but the Patriots are playing well. And I thought about it during the break. You asked going into it, who's the best team in the NFL? I might have to go Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Isn't it hard to go there? But my goodness, I don't know what to think of most of the teams in the NFC, to be frank. I don't know what to think of any team in the NFC other than now the Bucs are kind of scary. That win in Indianapolis, that was a tough one. But what's up with the Rams? It wasn't like they played great. If they'd played well and the Packers had beaten them, I'd be giving the Packers more respect. But maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Green Bay, okay, you got it. Aaron has become Aaron Rodgers in full with a broken toe.
Do you fulfill his trade request if he wins the Super Bowl for you?
He isn't going anywhere. Aaron Rodgers, what exactly would he be looking for? Unless only thing that I could see that would play into this would be what Tom Brady chased, warmer weather. I mean, that's at the end of the day, he chose Tampa because it was warm weather and they would go get Gronk for him. If Aaron wants to, I don't know what else he'd be looking for. LaFleur, I think, is proving himself to be a top 5 coach. That defense, the thing that he bitched and moaned and whined about, you're not getting me any help. You're only drafted defense. Yeah, you see that defense now? See what they did to the Rams? So, yeah, I think they've done a lot for you. And Gutekunst and he seem to be getting Aaron isn't going anywhere. And it was a good win yesterday. A good win. Rodgers improves to 13-4 over Matt Stafford as the two have met the 4th most times of any starting quarterback matchup in the Super Bowl era. The Rams have lost 3 straight following a 7-1 start, tying their longest losing streak under Sean McVay. Who are you more worried about, the Cowboys or the Rams?
The Cowboys have just had this problem where they're banged up pretty much the whole year. They haven't been healthy one game, but if they get healthy, they'll be fine. The Rams, like I said, you want to peak at the right time. They started hot, and now they're starting to taper off a bit. So I would kind of say the Rams are the team that you would be worried about if you were just kind of saying, okay, which team is going to maybe have a good playoff run? I'm pointing the finger at the Rams to being the team more worried about.
I think so too. I mean, while the Cowboys, there's help coming. It's just a matter of getting everybody back. I think if we had a game over the last two specifically, if Gregory or D-Law or both play, I just don't see how they lose either one of those games. Because the primary problem, it appears to me, with the Cowboys, whether they're scoring or they're not, and this still is an offense, even though it doesn't look like it's clicking on all cylinders, is still pretty effective. It's the defensive line play. They're just getting zero pressure. And because they're getting zero pressure to get pressure, they're moving Micah Parsons, who should be playing linebacker. And when they move him away from linebacker, suddenly the middle of the field's open, because I thought this was a fast linebacking crew. It ain't, unless Micah's playing linebacker. So they move him to edge to get some pressure, and suddenly tight ends are wide open and the middle of the field starts happening. So the fix, it just appears, as injuries.
And also, I think it was the Chiefs who sort of figured out that if you press on those receivers, then Dak will not have time to throw to those guys. It messes up their routes, and all of a sudden you're dealing with a offensive line that is a little bit shaky at the moment. And that's also been a little bit of a detriment to Ezekiel Elliott, because I know he's dealing with, I think it's a knee contusion. Mm-hmm. That is the question of, I think you asked, do you hide Zeke Elliott to Coach McCarthy this morning? But yeah, there's been rumors going around that maybe he is going to be asked to sit out for just, healing purposes. So this is just a banged up Cowboys team in this 3 of last 4 that they've lost.
Who would you start Thursday? Realistically, we know that Zeke's battered, and McCarthy has more than once has told us here on R&R in the morning that, Zeke plays so violently that Pollard was almost a necessity just so they could keep Zeke moderately healthy. And now it just appears that Pollard is a better back, or at least better suited to this offense, as long as the offensive line seems to be in a bit of turmoil. It's still a little bit of an issue there. And as long as we've had some wide receiver issues, you really would have thought that, it didn't surprise that Pollard was more effective because he's better in space. What would you do on Thursday? Who would you start, Pollard or Zeke? As we said today, I would start Pollard.
That's a two-headed monster that complements each other. So in a way, if you were to not have Zeke, I don't think Pollard is as effective. And you're not getting a bye week if you're the Cowboys. So I would rest Zeke and start Pollard. But overall, I think that they complement each other. And if I had to pick just one, it's still Zeke. But, an injured Zeke is not a most effective Zeke.
I'll tell you, that kick return, the special teams for the Cowboys is playing better than the other two. Every coach chases complementary football, and they haven't been able to figure it out. They get 2 out of the 3 every week, but it's the third that has let them down. And this week, it was the defense. They just couldn't slow them down when it mattered. And the Raiders sadly were out of gas. This was a team that if the Cowboys would have just gotten a little bit of a lead, I think the Raiders would have just kind of given up the ghost. But, McCarthy has a coaching style that sometimes makes things worse on himself. I like the way he coaches, but when you're a risk taker, you start wondering when the risk is going to happen and are you going to take it? And when you don't, it feels like, what I'm talking about there, when they could have gone for 2 and they decided to kick, and it just felt strange when you have a coach that you're never quite sure about. You keep the defense on its heels, but I think as a Cowboy fan, I kind of wanted him to go for 2. This weekend, college football proved to be utterly ridiculous yet again. Chaos. What do you do with Alabama? What do you do with this team? They don't look like they are as good as their record shows. It is Saban and it's Bama. What do you do with them? In Cincinnati, is it by default? What about Notre Dame? We're going to light a victory cigar this weekend as we head toward championship week. Last week was the most difficult week in sports talk radio all season long because we had to say rivalry week over and over and over, and I defy you to say it 3 times in a row. Now it's just championship week. Things get easier. Let's light a victory cigar as we look forward to great college football. And hey, did we get to maybe light one for the Spurs as the Wizards coming to town? What are you looking forward to? What are you rooting for? We're going to light a victory cigar coming up next. You're on R&R in the morning. And this, you lucky devils, is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's heart-stopping, rim-wrecking, ball-arching action.
Ball three, got it!
College hoops are happening, and we've got the action and excitement you love. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
My name is Josephine. About 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I suffered from digestive issues and had pain all over my body. I was always tired. I was pre-diabetic with hypertension. I thought this is how I'd live the rest of my life. Doctors would prescribe medicine and send me home, but nothing helped. Then I saw an interview with Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. I called for a free evaluation and immediately realized I have found the answer. After being on Dr. Torres' program, my pain went away, my body went through good changes, and I had tons of energy. Even my mindset changed. I have a life again. I've lost 70 pounds, went from a size 18 jeans to a size 7. I no longer take medication. I've learned to manage my fibromyalgia, and my digestive issues have vanished. I feel great. Dr. Torres has changed my life.
I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free consultation, 468-1891, 468-1891.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you. So you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your wipers are streaking. It might be time for a new set. We've got a great deal to help you get the job done and be ready for the weather ahead. Right now, you can get a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail or email when you buy 2 Bosch Envision wiper blades. And we've got even more ways to shop. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
It's time to get out and play with the Kawasaki KLX motorcycle. Whether you ride off-road, dual sport, or supermoto, every bike in the KLX lineup delivers thrills to new and experienced riders alike, and a wide range of terrain, trail, or street. That's a perfect bike. The world is a playground on the KLX motorcycle. Kawasaki KLX, get out and play. Visit Alamo Cycleplex today at I-10, just down from Days of Zavala exit, to shop our showroom floor or alamocycleplex.com online. Alamo Cycleplex, we sell fun.
If it's rim wrecking board busting action you want, then come and get it.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
The greatest ballers on earth are doing their thing on the hard court, and we bring it to you. Catch the action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from the Blitz. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning continues. You're on San Antonio Sports Star. We'll talk Spurs next hour. They come off the schneid, and what was an impressive win. I didn't get to see it, though. I saw a highlight of a Keldon dunk that was pretty ridiculous, and DeJounte continues to impress. He's our all-star, whether he gets the votes or not. He is truly playing all-star level basketball. Can they do it again? Can they stack wins against the Wizards? At 8:30, shoot-around will begin. We'll talk Spurs several times in between now and then. This college football season has been utterly ridiculous. I think that's good. I think it is.
It's good for the show.
It's good for, I think parity in the grand scheme of things is not good for individual sports. It's good for half the fans. I think that we need, in every sport, you need 2 or 3 Death Stars that you just aim at, that have everything that you're trying to achieve. And Georgia's there, I guess. The SEC's been tough, but the SEC East sucks this year. Sucks. So I don't know. I really thought Ohio State was building steam. I really did. But my victory cigar, it goes to Harbaugh. Michigan finally got it done. Michigan, after 8 years, finally got it done in what was the Big Tenest of all Big Ten football games ever played in the Big Ten in November. Snow falling, turnovers, slow football game in the first half. That could have been played in 1953 instead of 2021. But Harbaugh finally did it and created more chaos. I think out of all this, I'm pretty comfortable, Karl, that 12 teams in a playoff seems pretty appropriate for this year. I think that's going to happen for sure because there's a lot of teams that are real close, but a lot of teams that don't have it either. So might as well, I wish we could have seen them all play this year. Of all the teams that are sitting on the outside tomorrow night, Karl, who do you think is going to surprise the most? I'm gonna throw out Oklahoma State.
I want to say Notre Dame will maybe jump into the top 4. There's just something about Cincinnati where the playoff committee is really just going to be like, fine, we might give you a spot, or they might just go with who they know is going to draw television ratings, and that is Notre Dame over Cincinnati. And then on top of that, they're an independent in Notre Dame, and usually they give the leeway to the Power 5. So what are they going to do here? Give the nod to the independent that is, I don't know if you can say they're playing a Power 5 schedule, but they have that ACC tie-in. So I kind of think Notre Dame will be the surprise jump in, but Oklahoma State's a good pick too.
Well, I think you're right about Notre Dame. Just they're going to fall ass backwards into it, but I don't see any possible way that both Cincinnati and Notre Dame get into it. And because Cincinnati is undefeated and other teams just can't seem to find their own way, I think Cincinnati's locked it, man. I think it's a done deal. They're in. And it might be Notre Dame that suffers, even though I am not a Domer fan, and I think they point to a mediocre schedule every year and say, hey, man, we're 12-1. But who they played? I mean, Stanford, that was the big deal game for them. Yeah, my victory cigar, it goes to Michigan. I think they deserve to be in there. This year's playoff is just not panning out for me.
We'll still watch.
Well, we're going to watch. I was so excited about an Alabama team that I thought, it was a huge win. Keep in mind, they were on the road. They were at Auburn. This wasn't home. This is the Iron Bowl. It was a huge win, but it just didn't feel good. I think Bryce Young might have had his Heisman moment. I don't know. I don't know who the Heisman Trophy winner is either.
That's been up for debate the entire season.
I don't know. I mean, beating Auburn, as an Aggie, I go, yeah, I did that. So, yeah, that was a good win.
You give credit that it's a rivalry game and it's on the road, but, there's something almost 2000s Hurricanes like about these Alabama teams that Nick Saban coaches, where you just sort of expect something to happen for them to win, even it looks like when they're against the ropes.
It was a huge win. What a great pass. I mean, it was everything you wanted. It's just that and Alabama might be that good. They just don't feel that good. Especially, I guess LSU played a great game against A&M. I don't know. Swinging for the fences, saying goodbye to Oj. Gee whiz. It was this kind of weekend. I guess the Aggies needed a weekend like this so that if in fact, Jimbo decides to go the other side of the Mississippi, that's fine. It wouldn't hurt that bad after that kind of loss. But my victory cigar goes to Michigan. They finally did it. They caused more chaos. We'll find out tomorrow night at 6:00 as the Blitz goes with Jason Minix. We'll find out what the next to last of the playoff seedings goes tomorrow night. In the next hour, we're going to come back. Head coach Mike McCarthy of your Dallas Cowboys will be brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're going to give away Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. TSO, to those in the know. They're coming to the AT&T Center on Friday, the 10th, a week from this Friday. you want to go, you certainly need to listen around 8:25 or so. We're going to give those away. Shoot-around's coming. The Spurs are hosting the Wizards. Yes, they finally got a win. See if they can stack them, and Jeff Traylor will join us to close the hour. It's an hour of goodness as we come into the holiday stretch. It's a Cyber Monday. Get off your email. The deals will get better later. It's kind of like an auction. They'll get better. And hang with us. Mike McCarthy joins us next. You're hanging with the best. That's R&R in the Morning here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at sasportsstar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000. Weekly winners score gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue in the Mellow Mushroom. For official contest rules and to play, visit sasportsstar.com. Must be at least 21 years old to play this nationwide contest. One winner will be selected at the end of the season. The Pro Football Challenge from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This flu season update is sponsored by Exergen. Do you have the flu? Here's CBS News medical contributor, Dr. David Agus.
The flu classically doesn't have GI symptoms to start and respiratory symptoms. It can, but it doesn't. But they can imitate each other. So the flu classically starts with fever and chills. And then if you have it for more than 3 days, you need to go to your doctor.
The leading sign of COVID is a fever. So everyone needs an accurate thermometer. Try the Exergen temporal scanner and learn more at Exergen.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need. I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction. He really does devour literature. Please leave. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, everyone. Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats here. When you bring a package of our smoked sausage home, keep it simple. It's handcrafted in small batches and fully cooked, so you can just heat it up and enjoy. My favorite way to eat it is on a bun with mustard or wrapped in a tortilla. Try some from a store near you today, and if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Guaranteed. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 5,000 people died in workplace accidents in 2019 alone. Thomas J. Henry handles serious workplace accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio, San Antonio, Texas.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
New FanDuel fantasy players, your day is about to get 20% better. Start playing fantasy this football season, and FanDuel will give you a 20% bonus on your first deposit, up to $500. That's a big-time bonus, and all you need to do to claim it is make your first deposit. If you've never tried FanDuel, now is the perfect time to jump in. You'll love playing fantasy football on FanDuel. Not only is it easy to start, but you can set new lineups every game day, keeping the action fresh all season long. There are many types of game formats to choose from, and you can even play private contests with your friends. There's an awesome slate of games on hand this week and every week. So what are you waiting for? Get in on all the excitement and experience season-long wins without the season-long waits. Sign up today at FanDuel.com/play to claim your bonus and start playing today. That's FanDuel.com/play. Age and location restrictions apply. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires after 30 days.
Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year has arrived. Step up your vision with top tech up to 50% off during their Cyber Monday event. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Plus, get incredible savings on Windows 11 PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping. There's also special financing with Dell Business Credit. Get started by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Let's get it started on a Monday morning. Head coach Mike McCarthy, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Morning, coach. I know it's Wednesday in your life. How was the holiday weekend as it was?
It was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for us, but it was a good weekend. We got a lot of work done. I think our players have done an excellent job of adjusting to the protocols that are in place with the virtual meetings and so forth. So, but feel good about it. The start that we have, but you got to keep your football team on a routine.
Now, you brought up the protocols, and certainly it seems to be biting at the wrong time. Now, we do expect Amari Cooper back at practice today?
Yes, the anticipation is Amari will be back in the building today. You'll have the virtual meetings this morning, but he'll be in for the practice segment.
How did the test go yesterday? 100%?
Yes, 100% yesterday, and look to get the same done today.
Coach, I know that's, this is now modern NFL life. This is how many years we've been going through this now, it feels like. But, man, what a difficult time to go through it. And I wonder, as you have to fall into these Zoom protocols, is there some benefit maybe to just kind of getting away from everybody, having a meeting at home, let everybody kind of decompress a bit? Or is this the worst case at the worst time?
I think the fact that we had the experience of it last year, and I think that even the new players coming from college, have had to go through Zoom experience, not even if it was at their college, but, going through the draft process and everything. So, frankly, I was very impressed with the meetings. I thought our coaches did an outstanding job in the presentation. And, and the players are, it's just like anything. They're accustomed to it. They're very technical and savvy with it. So, when they came in and practice yesterday, they're on top of their work. So, at the end of the day, it's about, getting it done right. And, so hopefully it'll serve as a good break.
As you come into this strange time of the season, that is just being a Dallas Cowboy and a Dallas Cowboy fan, these games rolling together. I imagine looking forward to Friday. It's almost like a mini bye if you can finally get there. Coach, when I was in 8th grade, the last time I played organized football, my head coach would send in his plays by sending the guards in. He rotated guards in to bring the plays in. I haven't seen offensive lines shuffled like that. What was the thought process? And I know you got a lot of guys and only really 5 positions to play, but talk about the decision with the offensive line to start the game and what we can expect to see Thursday. Is it the return to what we saw, I guess, not since game 1 with Lael at right and Tyron at left?
Well, I mean, we had a 5 lineman, obviously starting lineman set, and wanted to give LC and Connor Williams a series, to keep them involved. Plus, there's other packages that they were involved. So it's really just about keeping them utilized. But especially with the overtime game and the number of reps the other 5 guys played. So there's plenty of opportunities for them to establish themselves as a group. But it's just really utilizing all 7 of those guys the best we can.
Would you do it again? Would you do it that way? About I know how big you are on continuity. Would you do that again?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with the outcome of the game, if that's what you're.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm just curious. One of the things about I know the offensive line more than any other position, and I think in any sport, relies so much on the guys beside them and the ballet and the that movement that is sometimes moving guys around in the easiest thing. And we know the running game's been suffering, and Zeke seems a little battered. I was just curious if that was something that was a necessity because you had a lot of guys that are finally getting healthy and you can finally play against. And will we see that again on Thursday, or will we go back to what we haven't seen, I guess, since week one? Lael at right and Tyron at left.
Well, I think the most important thing is, we just did it for the one series.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not. I was just curious, Coach. I like I know how you are about competition during the week, and that I thought that was a good thing, quite frankly, to have enough guys that where you can actually rotate through. But I also know how difficult it is to mesh.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I mean, they like I said earlier, we rotated in one series. There happened to be 3 plays to keep those guys involved. Yeah. They're involved in other packages. So the starting 5 played, all the snaps except 3. So I mean, the most important thing we got to focus on is just getting back to getting the run blocking unit established, right, playing with cohesion, and same thing in the pass protection part of it. So
will that cohesion have a role in whether Zeke plays on Thursday?
It'd be nice if if we can get those guys to line up week in and week out and establish that. But you go through these situations with COVID and injuries. This is a product of the challenges of an NFL season.
Absolutely tough, and with all the protocols involved too. Will the cohesion have a role in whether Zeke plays on Sunday? I know that or on Thursday. I know that sounds kind of an odd question to ask of a warrior like Zeke, but sometimes you just have to go hide a helmet.
Well, I think like anything, you got to remember that these guys, especially Zeke, the players have been here a long time. They're very close relationship with the medical staff. So I mean, if he's healthy, this is a health decision that you make on all your players every week. So I mean, if Zeke's fitted to be healthy, then he'll play, and and then we'll look at the game plan and so forth. So I thought he looked, we didn't do anything full speed yesterday. We had a jog through practice, so we'll see how he looks today.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Don't adjust your calendar nor your clock. Yes, it's Monday, but it's Wednesday in Coach's World, and we had a nice little holiday break. Coach, with the defense kind of suffering last, and we see what Micah Parsons has been capable of over the last, the entire season. Talk about, the health, and you wait for the cavalry to keep riding over the hill. Is the cavalry near? Are we going to see Gregory and D-Law anytime soon, or is it still going to be patchwork until we can get completely healthy?
Well, we're D-Law was part of the practice yesterday, so we'll see how he does today, and we'll make a decision on his availability for Thursday. Randy's getting better, so had a really good workout yesterday. Neville, we started his 3-week clock yesterday, so it's as these guys get ready, once again, it's a medical decision once they're cleared, and we feel like they're they've had enough fundamental work that they're cohesion's where it needs to be. We'll get them back in there. That's the plan.
What's your comfortability with your kicker?
I mean, I'm confident in Greg Zuerlein. It's I think when you look at his production, particularly inside of 2 minutes, I mean, he's exactly what you're looking for. He's been 8 for 8 and 8 inside of 2 minutes the last 2 years. I'm aware of the PAT misses, but his misses on his field goal attempts, the majority have been above 50 yards. So, but hey, we gotta be better there, and no one works out more than Greg in the battery there. But I have great confidence in Greg Zuerlein.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us for his regular on here on San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Have you ever seen a DB get called 4 times for DPI in a game? Ever before Thursday?
No, I haven't.
And we'll just leave it at that. I don't want to cost you any money. That was one of the more ridiculous things I've ever seen. But when you do know, obviously you scout refs. I mean, that's not uncommon. You knew what was coming, but when you can't do anything about it, I don't know what you do in a situation like that when you've got a player. Do you just pat him on the butt and say, hey, man, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's them. Just go out and play another game. And how do you regulate aggressiveness without affecting the play of the player? It's one of those witchcraft of head coaches that I quite frankly don't understand. How do you handle it?
Well, I think it's like anything in this game. There's an evaluation process. So you coach the penalties. Frankly, we put them in 3 different categories. The penalties in pre-snap are unaccepted. That's just discipline. The pre-snap penalties I'm talking about. But then you have the post-snap penalties, and there's combative penalties, and then there's discipline penalties. So, the ones that are lack of discipline, from the mental capacity, you got to eliminate those. But the combative ones are the ones you got to continue to work through, because those are the ones that usually fall in this area where, it's, two players competing and battling, and, you're pushing the edge, being aggressive, but you're just going to, play with a little better technique. So, that's really the category we put those in. We study them, we review them, and we just continue to work at it.
Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Saints on Thursday, they're going through their own particular issues. How do you scout a team like Peyton's when you're dealing with the quarterback issues that they're dealing with?
Well, I mean, it's a challenge. Just got to stay on top of all their concepts, which, they're vast in that, and the different schemes and plays that they do to try to keep you off balance. So you got to pay attention, particularly to the extra tackle sets, the loaded sets, and because it's a power run game, and Tyson Hills is definitely a component you got to be on top of. So I mean, it's all part of the challenge, and just part of this COVID injury phase that you go through when you line up each and every week. So we just got to be on top of our P's and Q's.
I'm curious, Coach, who's playing Taysom on your practice squad?
Ben DiNucci. He's Ben's athletic, obviously not as strong, but just for the type of practice we're having, he's a good fit.
Well, Coach, this is typical of Dallas Cowboys, this stretch here, and we know the history. When the Cowboys do well, playoffs are imminent. When they don't, they don't. You get an opportunity to kind of right the ship, Coach. As you look forward to this little break, I hope you had an opportunity to celebrate Thanksgiving. What was that, Friday? I guess you had a chance. I guess that was Sunday night in your life?
Yes, had a little time there Friday to have a family dinner, but it was great to see everybody.
What was the go-to? We didn't get a chance to talk last week. Your turkey, ham, what's the go-to?
Yeah, I'm traditional, just the turkey and stuffing, potatoes. So standard Thanksgiving dinner. Excellent.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time today. Good luck. We bid you good health and a good week of practice, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star for his regular. Don't adjust your clock or your calendar. We know it's Monday, but the Cowboys are in the midst of the strange season that only the Cowboys and I guess the Saints in Detroit can truly understand. Head coach Mike McCarthy joining us for his regular, getting ready for game on Thursday night. You can catch it right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Pregame getting going at 6. The Saints on the docket. Both teams desperately needing a win. It's been a rough month for both the Saints and the Cowboys, as there's only been one win amongst the two of them as we get ready for that. In the rest of the hour, we're going to get your headlines coming up. Spurs shoot-around just around the corner. We have the Wizards. Davis Bertans returns to the scene of the crime. See if the Spurs can stack 2 wins. But before we go there, we need to make sure you're a fully informed sports fan before you get to your office there. It's time for the 411 in the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Nick Sirianni fails Jalen Hurts for passing performance, and Philadelphia Eagles lost to the Giants. Yeek.
It's good to be a Dallas Cowboy coach because of that. It could be awful right now. Philadelphia, yesterday, according to the pundits, were starting to round things together. And I'll be honest with you, Karl, I thought the same thing. I've been pretty impressed with the Eagles. They adopted a running game, and for whatever reason, Sirianni kind of went away from that yesterday. What do we have, 3 interceptions from Jalen?
Yeah, one of them might as well have been a long punt on third down.
That's
deep in their own territory. So that was one that I was willing to forgive, but I think it was the third offensive series of the Eagles game. They were driving, trying to answer back a touchdown, and it was a red zone interception, and then another interception near the goal line. There were 2 interceptions that were really bad, and the end of the game, they kept ignoring Devontae Smith, and that's the best receiver they got, and that was just very frustrating. And he was open, and they went to Rager instead twice in the final minute, and that's really what cost them. What's the line from our friends across the pond? It's the hope that kills you. It was. I remember when they threw that interception near the 2-minute drill, or near the last 3 minutes of the interception, that the the Giants got, I was just like, okay, what else is on? But then I was like, you know what? There's still a little bit of time. They have all 3 timeouts. And then I was like, okay, hey, they got it back. Let's see if they can pull off a miracle in the Meadowlands.
You know,
Nope.
No miracles coming. We haven't talked about it a lot, but Garrett was such a fall guy in this whole Giant mess. Poor guy. Think about it. He's been fired twice in the last, 2 years, 3 years? And
yeah, exactly. 3 years, I guess, because last year was the McCarthy's first year, so he was sometime in that range.
Yeah.
2 years, I guess.
I don't know how he rebounds. That was not his fault, though. The Giants' offense looked better. I think Jones is going to be fine as long as Jones stays healthy. But man, yeah, NFC East. That's where the Cowboys. We just had McCarthy on. Bad as things get, they still got a 2-game lead. So the Cavalry will arrive, and they will get into the playoffs if they can just get everybody healthy. Moving on.
Maybe Jason Garrett will be the Oklahoma head coach.
We'll talk about that in a bit. The Shefty's in all kinds of hot water, throwing out Kingsbury. It would have made a little bit more sense if it was Garrett, but I don't think Kingsbury would be coming back.
That didn't make sense either. Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that
Moving
later.
along.
Headline 1.
Grizzlies' Ja Morant avoided a significant knee injury. Oh, hey, that's on me right there. Hey, Grizzlies' Ja Morant avoided a significant knee injury and expected to miss at least a couple weeks, Taylor Jenkins says. But this one was so bad. I don't know if anybody, listening saw it, but it looked like it was an ACL tear. And he tweeted out after the game that it's in God's hands and all he can do is pray. And it's now just a sprain.
Anybody who saw it, I thought that was it.
Oh, end of the season.
Oh, yeah. The fact that it's only going to be a couple of weeks, the dude's tendons are made out of rubber because it might not have torn, but it's stretched. That was terrifying. And considering the season that he's been having, yeah, that would have been the Mavericks sit at 10-10, 4-6 in their last 10. If they'd have lost him, that would have been a benefit to the Spurs. But scary. We got a lot of injuries floating around the league right now. A lot of them, a lot of nagging things. Now we're starting to deal with those in-season stress type, worn out kind of injuries already. And without Ja, I bet we won't see Ja till Christmas, middle.
A sprain is still a slight tear.
Yeah.
So, it's very severe. He'll be reevaluated in a couple weeks, but I think you're right. It might be something along the lines of let's just let him get right because he's too important to that franchise just to trot out for some, middle of the season games.
Neck and neck with the Nuggets dealing with their own long-term ACL and Jamal Murray. Yeah, we're going to talk some Spurs in just about 10 minutes as we get ready for shoot-around Spurs taking on the Wizards. Moving on.
Headline 0.
Well, we move on from one injury to a recovering injury as the Golden State Warriors assign rehabbing Klay Thompson and James Wiseman to their G League affiliate. Pop quiz, who's the G League affiliate?
They're not Aguas Calientes, are they?
No, that's the Clippers.
Okay.
They are the Santa Cruz Warriors.
Oh, they really are. The greatest G League team ever formed.
Hey, they have Jonathan Kuminga playing for them and Moses Moody on their team. They have 2 lottery picks on their roster right now. That's ridiculous.
And it's not like Steve Kerr is the development type that, every year we stash our rookies there. It's just that they've got that much talent. That there just literally isn't room for Kuminga on the number 1 team in the NBA.
I think they've won 8 in a row. Steph Curry might as well be the MVP if you were to hand out the awards today. It's no doubter. They're so good that they can't afford to put the 7th and 14th and last year's number 2 and Klay Thompson onto the Santa Cruz Warriors. I doubt that Klay ever plays a game. It's more for practice reps. But if he does, oh man,
sellout.
Yeah, that not only is it a sellout, we probably got to look for a scoring record to be broken. I'm going to guess Ronaldo Major holds the scoring in a single game record. He does have the all-time points in a career, right? Ronaldo Major, he played a long time in the D League.
Ronaldo Major, is he the Crash? What's his name from? Oh man, the movie just fell out of my brain. The home run. Kevin Costner was the home run leader of the G League of the minors.
Oh, the Durham Bulls.
No, the Durham Bulls is what's his name?
Ronaldo Major. Yep.
Ronaldo Major.
He played a long time in the D League. I don't think he ever even played in the G League, but he might actually have the single game scoring record. If not, maybe Morse Almond, if you remember him from the Rice days. He could really fill it up and shoot. He was a Rice shooter.
Speaking of guys that can really fill it up, playing where they need to be, Isaiah Thomas is playing on Team USA basketball.
And as much of a hoops head as I am, I had no idea that World Cup qualifiers were going on.
Yeah, the Team USA barely got past Cuba over the weekend with Isaiah Thomas getting 23, I believe, and hitting a game winner or at least a game clincher late in the game. So good job, Isaiah Thomas. Got some balling going on.
This is how obscure the USA versus Cuba game was. I looked it up, and there is no recent news articles on it on Google.
Who'd have thought that the Team USA basketball with 11 guys I've never heard of didn't make the news? And we come back after the headlines. We're going to talk Spurs. The shoot-around is imminent. We'll get you ready. We'll know our enemy. We'll figure out what the Wizards have been doing and figure out how the Spurs can stack a victory. Jeff Traylor, your UTSA Roadrunner head coach, they sit at 11-1, but they're still fighting for a championship. Conference USA game going to be played right here in San Antonio at 6 o'clock, and he will stop by as we look forward to a win and try to put that lone loss to bed. Moving on. The headlines.
Oh,
that's it. We done.
That's the 411 and a 210.
There you go. That's the last sounder that we had came in. We got to play those.
Oh, yeah. That's the high restaurant quality stuff. Let's go ahead and give away some tickets. The the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I saw TSO. Texas came out first. 'Tis the season as it was. They come to San Antonio every year during the holidays, and they will be here a week from Friday, December the 10th, at the beautiful AT&T Center. You ever seen Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
No, but they've been around since I can remember. I remember they were advertising it at the AT&T Center back when it was the SBC Center. Right. Oh my goodness, it's been a long time since they've been around.
I've seen it. I've gone, and I think everybody should go. And if you want to go for free, the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines are 656-3776, 656-ESP, and I have a pair of tickets sitting in my hot pocket to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra a week from Friday. Caller number 5 to 656-3776, 656-ESPN is going to go check out Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You know, they tell a story. The story didn't quite mesh for me. But a lot of music, lots of Christmas music. Do you listen to Christmas music? No.
Sorry, we already have a winner.
Of course.
They're lighting up back here. This is a big deal, apparently.
TSO, they rock. They fill the place. And San Antonio, I know they can't have that many dates available. We get them just a couple of weeks before Christmas. You know, there's stations that have been playing Christmas music. I actually caught myself listening to it. On the way home from Dallas, actually on the way up, 6.5 hours, we can go on Wednesday with no discernible reason why we ever slowed down. Needed Christmas music, that long, continuous brake light from here to San Antonio. That was y'all's drive. Wonder who went the furthest. Now, you spent up and down. You went back and forth between Houston.
Yeah, that's right. I went to Houston, then I went back to Austin for the Austin Spurs games. Came on back here last night. It was a nice heavy miles on my car.
How did the Spurs, the Austin Spurs, do over there?
They got their what handed to them 2 games in a row. First game was without Wieskamp and Primo, and then Wieskamp and Primo didn't really play all too great the second game, and they came out to play.
Now, this is technical stuff with the NBA, and we're going to talk about the Spurs coming up on the other side of the break for shoot-around. But Wieskamp was permanently assigned over there. I saw some, one of those NBA paperwork kind of announcements.
Transferred is the
what,
word
what,
they
what does
use.
that mean?
That's just how the phrasing of the two-way guys.
So it still means we'll see him on the Spurs bench at times. It didn't make him.
Yes,
okay.
Two-way guys primarily live in the G League, but I think it's 45 days now they're allowed to be called up and play in Austin and such.
Well, so Wieskamp was transferred and Primo was assigned.
Correct.
What's the difference?
Primo's on the roster officially. Wieskamp is a two-way guy, so he's not a everyday player for the San Antonio Spurs.
Gotcha. Pick up those callers. Sorry, TSO tickets are gone. We'll continue to give them away for the rest of the day. Coming up, the Spurs take on the Wizards tonight. Let's get you ready with the shoot around. Then Jeff Traylor will join us very quickly after that. You guys are in the right place. That's R&R in the Morning here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Texas Cheer Liquor has an app now, you guys. TexasCheerLiquor.com, or you can visit Texas Cheer Liquor app. Either way, you go on there, do some shopping, call ahead, whatever the case may be. Curbside, you don't want to get out the house, they got you. Texas Cheer Liquor is your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. They have 4 locations now, 2 of them on Petranco, 1 across from Walmart. Keep going up. There's one past 211. And they also have a 3rd one at 90 in Montgomery and the all-new Texas Cheer number 4 at 1431 Palo Alto Road in the Patron Plaza right next to Walmart. And let's say you get in there and you're looking around, and they don't have what you want. Let them know. Don't leave. Let them know. They'll take care of you. They'll get that in there for you. I did it. I needed something a little bit extra that they didn't have. They had it for me within a day or two. They also offer kegs, and for the kegs, they'll do delivery and they'll pick it up for you. They are truly your one-stop shop for all your beer, liquor, wine, and cigar needs. That's Texas Cheer Liquor, official sponsor of R&R in the Morning.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Available at HEB.
The Houston Texans fall to 2-9 on the season following a 21-14 loss to the New York Jets in a battle for the bottom of the AFC. Houston is now tied with Jacksonville for the 2nd worst record in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys are going back to virtual meetings following a positive COVID test of offensive lineman Terrence Steele and several assistant coaches. Steele will miss this Thursday night's game against the Steelers. And in the NBA, all 3 Texas teams are in action with the Rockets hosting the Thunder at 7, Dallas going up against the Cavaliers at 7:30, and the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Washington Wizards at the AT&T Center, also at 7:30 this evening. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
1911 Cigars in Cibolo is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas and the perfect place for your holiday party. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. Book your holiday party now. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the average cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course, enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars at 202 South Main Street in Cibolo. 1911cigars.com.
Nigel, why are you wearing a parka? Hello? Nigel?
Hi, Joel. I'm sorry I couldn't hear you. My earmuffs are a tad too tight.
What's with all this gear? Boots? Firewood? And are those snow chains?
I'm getting ready for winter. Would you like a cup of hot cocoa? These tiny marshmallows are adorable.
Nigel, in case you haven't noticed, it's not exactly freezing outside.
You can never be too prepared, my big bellowing boss man. Would you hand me those mittens?
Folks, when it comes to your home's heating system, this is the ideal time to have Quarter Moon thoroughly check your heater and make sure everything is ready to go before that cold weather comes. We'll check your refrigerant levels, check your thermostat, filters, and safety devices so that your unit is running safely and properly for you and your family.
Look, Joel, I brought us matching onesies.
Call 651-5899, and one of our Quarter Moon technicians will check your heating system from top to bottom and make sure your home is safe and ready for the season.
Joel, I'm in trouble. I've drunk 4 cups of hot cocoa, and the zipper's stuck on my parka. I didn't prepare for this.
License number M13229 TACLA 000743445E.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and past South Dakota, Santa was coming on his brand new Kubota.
That's not how it goes.
The sidekick, you see, was his new mode of travel. In his XG850, he was kicking up gravel.
What about the reindeer?
In Texas, he said, now I need a tractor. A Kubota from Ewald is just the right factor. While driving his sidekick, he sang through the night,
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Thomas J. Henry Law, we strive to provide the highest level of service in the industry. But don't take our word for it. See what our clients have to say. With more than 2,700 5-star Google reviews, Thomas J. Henry is among the highest-rated attorneys in town. Don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor.
The road is everything you want it to be. As long as what you want is road.
Progressive Motorcycle also presents basic policy starting at $79 a year. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy is not available in all states.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our app makes it simpler to get supplies ordered and delivered. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and last-second supply runs. Job site delivery puts what you need where and when you need it. And rental puts the right equipment in your hands, but not your overhead. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Get the latest on what's happening on the NBA hardwood.
Behind the back dribble to the rim and the flush.
Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250, 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning. Refreshed and renewed. What that stands for. No Rudy J today. Get him back tomorrow. Don't forget halftime with Michael Jimenez goes off today at noon. 4 o'clock, Jason Minix returns yet again with the Blitz and a cavalcade of guests. Coming off a rough Texas sporting weekend. Although, basketball-wise, things might have turned for both Houston and San Antonio.
And UIW won.
Yeah, they won in a late comeback, taking down Stephen F. We'll look at the college football world. Congratulations, Coach Eric Morse. Moving on. You get Sam Houston coming up this week.
Yeah, that's rough. They're number 1 in FCS and undefeated on the season.
Familiar rival, and I wouldn't, there's going to be lots of offense no matter what when Eric Morse is involved. Speaking of offense, the Spurs continue to have 3-point shooting woes, but they do get a win taking down the Boston Celtics in what was an impressive win. Man, I like those home uniforms, those
the new Fiesta colors.
Fast-breaking Fiesta colors. That's a fine-looking uniform, and DeJounte looked pretty good in it. Let's get into it. Shoot around today. The Spurs are taking on the Washington Wizards tonight, and it's our job to get you completely ready for it. So looking forward to tonight. The Wizards come in pretty good, to be quite frank. Wes Unseld Jr. has the Wizards playing at a rate that I don't think anybody expected. They're at third place in the Eastern Conference. They're 13-7. They've won their last 2, 6-4 in their last 10, but that's not what we're worried about. Let's talk about our San Antonio Spurs. Let's know ourselves.
Know yourself.
I was running through the 6.
So the Spurs take on the Boston Celtics and do what the Spurs need to do to win the basketball game. They get out on the fast break. They defend on the perimeter. 3-point shooting continues to be a woe, but DeJounte Murray is coming into himself. Right now, we know the formula for success, Karl, when you see what DeJounte is doing. When you look down the roster on a team that obviously can do a lot of different things to improve themselves, what's the one thing that you see that could be the quickest change? Because I'm seeing a lot of talk about Trey Jones.
No, Trey Jones definitely is somebody who deserves more time at that backup point guard position. He I can't remember what his preseason injury was. I know he had an ankle injury somewhere in there, and I think that sort of cost him a little bit of time earlier in this young season. We're still, 64 games left in this year. So a lot of time left for Trey Jones to work his way into the rotation and really become a solid player. And yeah, that would be a really good pickup to bolster up that second unit, which is already pretty good with Lonnie and Devin Vassell.
12-2-2 when he went up against the Celtics in the 96-88 victory. What was impressive with the Spurs is how well they played in the fourth quarter. They outscored them and held on to a team that would look like they were trying to come back in the Celtics. 29 points from DeJounte, 29, 6, and 11 as he continues his near triple-double pace. What did you make of, and what do you make of Jakob Poeltl over the last week?
He's coming back into his own. He's, obviously recovering from COVID, which he said put him back at square one in terms of conditioning. But, the Spurs are a much better defensive team with him out there as the anchor. And overall, they're better offensively because he knows how to get screen assists and finish around the rim with his little floater.
You could certainly tell that while the offense isn't quite there and free throw shooting will never be there, the offense just flows better when he's involved. He and DeJounte are really developing chemistry. Those two run very well on that high pick and roll. They work very well together. And let's not discount those little things that let's hope will translate into victories as they try to stack wins. Tonight, we get to see Wes Unseld Jr.'s defensive-minded team coming in with the Wizards. This is not the Wizards you might have even remembered from last season, certainly not from previous years. They understand how to win, and Bradley Beal is coming into his home. Let's learn about our enemy.
Know your enemy.
We just talked about it. The Wizards are third place in the East. I'm not sure a lot of people have put two and two together there.
That would not have been something I predicted at the beginning of the season. But, Rudy said it's addition by subtraction. You lose Russell Westbrook, and all of a sudden the team gets better. Montrezl Harrell, who came over in the Westbrook trade, has really been playing well. Obviously, Spencer Dinwiddie and so on. So, yeah, I'm not overly surprised because the East is just full of wild cards like that, but I am a little surprised.
Now, they've had a little bit of an easier schedule, but the addition of Spencer Dinwiddie and Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma, the fashion victim that he is, did land a bit of some veteran savvy to a team that, has really just been Bradley Beal and a bunch of other guys running around. Tonight, we don't, as far as injuries go, Thomas Bryant, their post, will be out, and Rui Hachimura will be out due to personal reasons. Pay very close attention to the fast break points tonight. Spurs are averaging 14.1 fast points per game. That's sixth best in the NBA, and they have to do that to be competitive and to win. At the same time, the Wizards allow the second fewest fast break points in the league. So pay attention to how the Spurs move the ball around. I don't expect to see a whole lot of three-point shooting, especially against the Wizards. They allow they're the eighth lowest three-point percentage in the NBA, but they also allow the second fewest attempts from deep as well. They do defend the perimeter. So the Spurs, this might play right into what they're good at. That mid-range game might actually play a role. Who do you think gets the Bradley Beal call tonight? You put DeJounte on him?
Oh, yeah. You put DeJounte, Derek, you probably even throw Keldon at him to give a big body to make it a little hard for him to muscle his way to the rim because Beal's pretty thick. In fact, that was a headline that Greg Popovich said was he was surprised at how thick Bradley Beal was. And in this particular case, I wouldn't be surprised to see them throw a Keldon Johnson at him. But DeJounte's been the stopper all season long for the primary point guard.
The Wizards, not only Bradley Beal, Montrezl Harrell adds some depth. Deni Avdija, I'm excited to see him go tonight.
Yeah, he's sort of their combo forward that really a lot of Spurs fans that follow the draft wanted him to be picked up by, and he didn't fall to the Spurs. Not necessarily living up to the standards that you were hoping to get out of him if you were the Wizards, but they're not really getting too much at their forward spots. No. As you said, Hachimura is out with personal issues. There was a time where people didn't know where he was within the organization. And, obviously personal issues we don't really dig too deep into. But you brought up Davis Bertans earlier. He's only shooting 24% from three this season. And, that you're expecting more out of their forwards. Avia is probably going to be their main forward to watch, but I get the feeling Davis knows these rims. If he's in for a hot shooting night anytime in the near future, it's probably tonight.
And you get the feeling that Unseld will do everything they can to get him uncorked. According to the Bullets Forever website, which is their
that's funny.
Part of their blogosphere.
They refuse the Wizards as a name?
I guess so. And, we can get into semantics if we want to. Looking at their stats here as what we expect from them. Davis is not shooting well, but it's certainly a defensive-oriented team. I'm quite frankly a little bit of astounded to see how well they've been playing when completely healthy. Let's look inside the Spurs trading room, see who we expect to see tonight and who will be sitting and watching wearing ice packs.
Inside the training room.
I hurt myself today.
Doug McDermott continues to sit the bench with a knee issue. Devin Vassell we have as day-to-day. Expectation is, though, that he will play, I believe.
Both of them have been upgraded to questionable.
And Zach Collins continues to be out with his foot injury and could not arrive soon enough as the Spurs continue to bounce around the bottom of the Western Conference with the Rockets winning 2 straight games and talking to John Wall about his possible return to the lineup. Spurs are in good position to go and chase one of the guys that I think we've all talked about more than we should, though. Paolo Banchero, did you see him play Friday night?
I saw some of the highlights, and people were going crazy over him. Yeah.
20 points in the first half against a pretty impressive front line with Gonzaga, with Drew Timme and Chet 7-7 or whatever his name is.
Holmgren, I believe?
Yeah, Chet Holmgren.
Mm-hmm.
The Duke looked really good. Banchero for at least 20 minutes. First half, he had cramping issues in the second half, and that is one thing to pay attention to. I've seen Paolo play twice this year, and both times had issues with cramps. So might need to monitor his diet, but I think as we sit today, now certainly there's a long time between here and there, but Banchero is the number 1 pick in this draft until proven otherwise. That was a ridiculous performance by a 6'10" guy who looks at times like LeBron and shoots like Carmelo. It was really good.
And he's not a bad passer either. He is, at the moment at least, the clear-cut number 1 overall pick. And, I get why Spurs fans want that kind of talent on the team, especially considering that the front court depth is the issue at the moment. But, it's something that you have to deal with where it's where you have a 64 games left on the schedule. We can't just fast forward to April, y'all. Like there's a process here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs are one of the rare teams in the NBA history that have a 6-game losing streak and a 6-game winning streak in the same season. And that 6-game winning streak could be the reason they don't get the most ping pong balls in the lottery.
Well, first and foremost, the goal is 26. And the Spurs look to pick up another one. Tonight looks like a game that's very winnable. If they don't have Hachimura, if they can slow down Beal and get some of that fast break turnover that they did manage to see the other night, and we see DeJounte continue to offer what has been a stellar season. He's averaging almost 19 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, just a little over 8 assists, and a little over 2 steals a game. While Keldon continues to score well, 15 a game and 6.5 rebounds a game. Going off tonight, don't forget Jason Minnick's on the Blitz will have Game Night San Antonio as they prepare to get you ready. Hey, coming back, let's hear from the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners. Jeff Traylor will join us. Looking forward to the Conference USA Championship game. Western Kentucky, a rematch coming to town, and the amazing Texas connection that Western Kentucky offers. Their best 2 players on offense are from less than 100 miles from here. Traylor joins us, and we look forward to a championship game and reflect on the only loss that the Roadrunners have seen this season. Hold on tight. Lots more sports talk coming your direction. You're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. The Institute for Functional Health are going to be busy this week as we come into the holiday season. And a lot of us, me included, kind of veered away from the healthy eating. 3 days of just utter, and well, I don't know how to get to it, but it's been a good week. But now it's time to get back on the game plan. If you've been with the Institute for Functional Health, if you know what Dr. Torres does and its weight loss programs, you know that, yeah, you're going to have weekends like this. And yeah, you're going to see your scale add on a few pounds. It's going to happen to me. I haven't weighed today, but I know it's coming. But the good news is I know exactly what I need to do to get back on track. See, Dr. Torres and the IFF, they put together a program only for me, and I've been on it now for nearly 4 years, I'm down 40 pounds. It's consistent weight loss. I haven't yo-yoed. I didn't get on some kind of program where I dropped 35 pounds and added 40. See, it's the science behind the program that matters. See, when you go see Dr. Torres and the Institute for Functional Health, everything about you plays into how the program is put together only for you. It's not an off-the-rack program. It's not something that's just something pulled off the internet. This is backed by medical professionals, and it's a program that works. I want you to meet Dr. Torres. I want you to talk to him about what it takes to get in with the program. It's not the easiest thing I've done. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the best thing I've ever done. Down 40 pounds. Who can say that 4 years later? That's me. And a lot of things I used to blame on age really had to do with weight. It's snoring, the sore joints, the not sleeping well at night, the body inflammation, all those things that play into you're just feeling good enough to say you feel good, but you don't feel great if you're living like that. Or if you're so heavy now that the doctors are telling you it's time to lose weight, you're pre-diabetic, you're pre-hypertensive, or maybe you are diabetic or you're hypertensive and you're dealing with all those digestive issues that can be fixed. Everybody's different. You're not like anyone else. That's why the one-size-fit-all approach does not work. I want you to call Dr. Torres and find out what I know. Here's the number. It's 210-468-1891. 210-468-1891. The website is iffhealth.com. Look, we're getting into the season of sin, quite frankly. If you're trying to get on a diet, it's going to be tough. If you're on a weight loss program that doesn't alter with the season, you're in a little bit better place. And as we get closer to those resolves, those New Year's resolutions, I want you to consider the IFF. Your health is a combination of your genetics and all the things that your body has gone through. All those poor decisions can be reversed if you get on a program like what Dr. Torres has. Call him today, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
There's no other game like college football. And the tight end rolls to the end zone. And no one covers it better. It's game day every day for us. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, 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 we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
Hi, this is Trey Ware, customer number one with Alamo Water Softeners with their water treatment bundles. Special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle and so much more. Log on today to alamowatersofteners.com and make an appointment with one of their whole home specialists for a free water analysis and recommendations that are customized to your home. And be sure you ask about 0% interest, same as cash for 2 years with approved credit. alamowatersofteners.com.
The SiriusXM Listen Free event is on now through December 6th. Enjoy over 100 channels free on the radio in your car, including ESPNU Radio, Fantasy Sports Radio, Mad Dog Radio, ad-free music of every kind, plus incredible entertainment. Hear even more free on the SiriusXM app, including channels dedicated to the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and SEC. We've already turned it on in your car, so press the button and enjoy.
So you're a brain surgeon?
Yeah, but part-time.
How
Part-time brain surgeon, full-time football fan.
is that possible?
AT&T 5G. With reliable football alerts and fast streaming, I am always thinking about the game.
Well, I hope not when you're operating.
No, I operate during my football lunch breaks.
AT&T 5G is fueling full-time fans who are on the clock, even when their team isn't. It's not complicated. AT&T 5G is fast, reliable, secure. 5G requires compatible device and plan. 5G may not be available everywhere. Visit att.com/5G for you to learn more.
A 17-week season and only one couch. Let's hope it holds up. The Cowboys are back. The explosive action happens here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Opinions. We got them. Keep them coming. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 at 94.5 FM.
Let's talk with the head football coach of your UTSA Roadrunners. He's here a little bit earlier than normal, but it's going to be a busy week. Jeff Traylor joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Morning, Coach. How you feeling this morning?
Oh, we've been better. Licking our wounds, back to work, try to find a plan to stop the best quarterback in the country.
And Coach, when I woke up this morning, I was going to try to make some kind of joke about, hey, Coach, how's it feel to be human? I mean, my goodness, 10-1. But seriously, you talk about licking your wounds. When you lose a football game, this is one of those esoteric questions that just one like a Rorschach test. How would you prefer to lose a game? Like that? With a last-second field goal? Or one of those epic beatdowns where when you, after the first snap, you realized I didn't get them ready and this is going to be a long day? Which would be the easiest way to wake up on a Sunday morning?
Well, I never did good on multiple choice.
Come on, Coach. It's clock method.
I like the one that says all the above, right? That's the one I hate the most, all the above, right? But that one was tough just because we weren't prepared to play, obviously. We lost the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball. We lost the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball, and then we turned it over. And what I told my team, and I feel strongly about this, desperate people live differently than prosperous people. And we look like a prosperous football team that had just won the Western Conference Championship. We were talking about putting pictures on the wall of players making great plays, and they look like a desperate team trying to get into a bowl game and not get their season ruined. And that's my fault. I'm the head coach, and I didn't get them ready.
Well, that's easy to say, but it was a long time getting to this. And, I checked, I don't think there's going to be rain on Friday. So maybe that little reason or excuse can go away too. But when you see that kind of game going the way that it did, at what point do you go, it's time to start looking forward? I mean,
it's a great question, but you can only travel 70 players on road games. So there were players, in the game I couldn't even get out.
Right.
I need to get out of the game, but you just don't have anybody to put in the game. So it was very NFL-like. My son coaches with the Saints, which I've mentioned before, and it reminded me of sometimes those teams will clinch and they got to play one more game before the playoffs. But the NFL is only like a 47-man roster. So it's really you just got to get through it. And I will say this, our young kids that went out there now, they played their tails off.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Eddie Lee went out there, Donye Taylor, Cyrus, Brandon Brown. We had some really good young players go out there that just kept making plays that I was very, very proud of. And I understand that fan base doesn't really care to watch all that kind of stuff in a blowout. But when you're a coach and you recruited those kids, it's good to see they were still competing all the way to the end of that thing.
Jeff Traylor joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. This Friday, 6 o'clock, Western Kentucky will be here. It is a title game. You said it, the best quarterback in the country. Tell us about him.
Yeah, statistically, he's the absolute best. He was an All-American player at HBU, and then they hired, I know we saw this before, but Saints playing him again, right? So the offensive coordinator went over there, the receivers went over there. And a crazy stat, he's completed, and I might be wrong on this, but it's somewhere like this. Bailey has completed, like his receiver he brought with him, the Stearns kid from Waxahachie, and Bailey was from Victoria.
Right.
376 passes to this one kid in their career, to one kid, not like the whole receivers, just to that one kid in his career. So think about the space repetition, the time on task those two have had together. And I will say, Bailey's very, very good, but we've got a good quarterback too. And Frank's going to show up and play his tail off like he always does.
When you see an air raid kind of offense like you're about to see, how does that affect your practice week?
Well, it's difficult because it's just hard to replicate that. And they've been doing it so long together. And our fan base is going to be very important Friday night because he checks so many things at the line of scrimmage. He can tell when you're bringing pressure. He knows when you're not bringing pressure. He knows when you're dropping too many people out. He gets them to a run play. So their communication at the line of scrimmage, well, we have to be so loud in that Alamo Dome, they cannot change their plays if they catch us in a look that they know what we're fixing to do.
What tape you looking at with them? Is it tech?
No, we just watch them. We're studying them. I mean, there's so much video to watch, and they do a different version of the same thing every week, which is what all good offenses do. But Marshall, 53 points, FAU, 52, Rice, 42, Middle Tennessee, 48, 45 on Charlotte, 43 on Old Dominion, 46 on us, 59 on UT Martin. No one's figured out a way to stop them yet, unfortunately.
So with that in mind, are you ready for a track meet on Friday?
Well, whatever it takes, right? I mean, last time we beat them, we played as good as we ever have offensively. And you have to just prepare yourself that they might get theirs. Now, my defense doesn't want to hear it, and they'll be coming guns a-blazing, especially after our poor performance Saturday. I know our defense will have – I bet we look like a desperate team Friday night. I bet we don't look very prosperous in the way we play Friday night.
Jeff Traylor joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. We get ready for a championship game Friday. Let's fill that dome. It'll be kickoff at 6 o'clock. Are you surprised at all at the outpouring of the GoFundMe for getting the kids some tickets and all that and what San Antonio has done? Or was this one of those things that you felt like if I put in the work and get everything moving right, San Antonio will jump in line?
You don't sign 10-year contracts unless you feel like the city is going to take care of the program. And even after our loss, obviously I've had some pretty ugly things said to me, but the people that have been in our corner the entire time are more committed now than ever. And that just reaffirms our belief in staying here and the commitment of April and Sarah and fellow business people like her that really want to do what's best for the players and the road runners. And any money extra will go towards our bowl game. There's so many things that go on that bowl game that people don't really realize, from bowl rings to how much of a fun experience do you want your kids to have when they go on the bowl experience. So Dr. Compost has done a good job of getting that for us, and I appreciate everybody helping.
We want 50K or better in the dome on Friday. He's head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners. They did their job. It's time for y'all to do yours. Go get those tickets. Let's fill this place on Friday. Well, Coach, we bid you a good week of practice. Stay healthy, baby. We're almost there. The finish line is in sight. Coach Traylor, have a good week. We'll talk to you next.
Well, sorry we didn't get it done. I know how disappointed everybody
Yeah,
is.
10-1, Coach. Sucks. You know.
I'm the head coach. What's on me? So apologize. God bless. And birds up. And by the way, Rudy, we're 11-1.
I'm sorry, man.
I mean, Rob. Sorry, Rob.
No, we're 11-1. Let's not sell it short. 11-1. We appreciate you, Coach. Yeah, it's the championship. We have a championship game on Friday. It's always a pleasure to have Coach. And
Hey, did Rudy just ditch us?
Rudy, you know what? That turkey got good to him. He called me last night about 8 o'clock. And I could hear music in the background saying, I think I'm going to stay with my mama one more night. So how do you say no to that?
Tell him we missed him. God bless. Birds up.
You bet, Coach. Jeff Traylor here as he joins us every Monday.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start. North, south, east, west. Step back for three. Bang, got it. The courts are firing with board busting and rim wrecking in your face balling. Deep three straight away. Oh, we got another one. And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some. Hammers a right hand dunk. Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing a medical problem of any kind, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find medical care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health comes to you. That's right. Receive high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort of your own home when you need it. Just call or click, and Dispatch Health comes to your home, able to treat common to complex illnesses and injuries. It's really that simple. Go to dispatchhealth.com now to learn more and download the app so you're always just the touch of a button away from the quality health care you need. Dispatch Health is affordable and in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare. It's true high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the ease and comfort of your own home, all for an affordable price. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay comfortable, and let Dispatch Health come to you. Go to dispatchhealth.com and say hello to the modern-day house call. That's dispatchhealth.com. Go to dispatchhealth.com.
We will buy no used car before it's time. We will pay the top money because we know exactly what we're doing at GiveMeTheVin.com. We've bought $1 billion with a B of used cars from you guys in 2021 already because this used car market's on fire. $1 billion in volume. We're paying so much, it's scary. Only at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Coach Lee, he was a father figure and like a best friend.
Let's have some fun. 1, 2, 3, hell.
Now streaming.
My pop, he's got cancer.
Exclusively on Paramount Plus.
We have to have guys rise to the occasion.
The Emmy-nominated series Texas 6 returns.
This is all moving. You play football, you don't just play for you. You play for everybody in this town. This is all moving.
I'm going to dedicate my season to my dad.
Texas 6. New season now streaming. Only on Paramount Plus.
Nobody protects you from mayhem in Texas like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
With Early Paycheck, you can get your direct deposit up to 2 days earlier. That's another reason banking with Capital One is the easiest decision ever. Even easier than deciding to open the biggest birthday gift first.
Happy birthday to you.
Which one are you going to open first?
The pony.
Yep, even easier than that. Plus, with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is banking with Capital One even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. No fees or minimums on new consumer accounts. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your wipers are streaking. It might be time for a new set. We've got a great deal to help you get the job done and be ready for the weather ahead. Right now, you can get a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail or email when you buy 2 Bosch Envision wiper blades. And we've got even more ways to shop. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Let's get it started on a Monday morning. Head coach Mike McCarthy, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Morning, coach. I know it's Wednesday in your life. How was the holiday weekend as it was?
It's
I mean, it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for us, but it was a good weekend. We got a lot of work done. You know, I think our players have done an excellent job of adjusting to the protocols that are in place with the virtual meetings and so forth. So, but feel good about it. You know, the start that we have, but you got to keep your football team on routine.
Now, you brought up the protocols, and certainly it seems to be biting at the wrong time. Now, we do expect Amari Cooper back at practice today.
Yes, the anticipation is Amari will be back in the building today. He'll have the virtual meetings this morning, but he'll be in for the practice segment.
How did the test go yesterday? 100%.
Yes, 100% yesterday, and look to get the same done today.
Coach, I know that's, this is now modern NFL life. This is how many years have we been going through this now, it feels like. But, man, what a difficult time to go through it. And I wonder, as you have to fall into these Zoom protocols, is there some benefit maybe to just kind of getting away from everybody, having a meeting at home, let everybody kind of decompress a bit? Or is this the worst case at the worst time?
I think the fact that we had the experience of it last year, and I think that even the new players coming from college, have had to go through Zoom experience, not even if it was at their college, but, going through a draft process and everything. So, frankly, I was very impressed with the meetings. I thought our coaches did an outstanding job in the presentation. And, and the players are, it's just like anything. They're accustomed to it. They're very technical and savvy with it. So, when they came in and the practice yesterday, they're on top of their work. So, at the end of the day, it's about, getting it done right. And, so hopefully it'll serve as a good break.
As you come into this strange time of the season, that is just being a Dallas Cowboy and a Dallas Cowboy fan, these games rolling together. I imagine looking forward to Friday. It's almost like a mini bye if you can finally get there. Coach, when I was in 8th grade, the last time I played organized football, my head coach would send in his plays by sending the guards in. He rotated guards in to bring the plays in. I haven't seen offensive lines shuffled like that. What was the thought process? And I know you got a lot of guys and only really 5 positions to play, but talk about the decision with the offensive line to start the game and what we can expect to see Thursday. Is it the return to what we saw, I guess, not since game 1 with Lael at right and Tyron at left?
Well, I mean, we had a 5 lineman, obviously starting lineman set, and wanted to give LC and Connor Williams a series, to keep them involved. Plus, there's other packages that were involved. So it's really just about keeping them utilized. But especially with the overtime game and the number of reps the other 5 guys played. So there's plenty of opportunities for them to establish themselves as a group. But it's just really utilizing all 7 of those guys the best we can.
Would you do it again? Would you do it that way? About I know how big you are on continuity. Would you do that again?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with the outcome of the game. If that's what you're.
Oh no, not at all. I'm just curious. One of the things about I know the offensive line more than any other position, and I think in any sport relies so much on the guys beside them and the ballet and that movement that is sometimes moving guys around in the easiest thing. And we know the running game's been suffering, and Zeke seems a little battered. I was just curious if that was something that was a necessity because you had a lot of guys that are finally getting healthy and you can finally play against. And will we see that again on Thursday, or will we go back to what we haven't seen, I guess, since week 1, Lael at right and Tyron at left?
Well, I think the most important thing is, we just did it for the 1 series.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not. I was just curious, Coach. I like I know how you are about competition during the week, and that I thought that was a good thing, quite frankly, to have enough guys that where you can actually rotate through. But I also know how difficult it is to mesh.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I mean, they like I said earlier, we rotated on 1 series. It happened to be 3 plays to keep those guys involved. Yeah. They're involved in other packages. So the starting 5 played, all the snaps except 3. So I mean, that's the most important thing we got to focus on is just getting back to getting the run blocking unit established,
right.
Playing with cohesion, and same thing in the pass protection part of it. So.
Will that cohesion have a role in whether Zeke plays on Thursday?
It'd be nice if we can get those guys to line up week in and week out, and and establish that. But you go through these situations with COVID and injuries. This is a product of the challenges of an NFL season.
Absolutely tough, and with all the protocols involved too. Will the cohesion have a role in whether Zeke plays on Sunday? I know that or on Thursday. I know that sounds kind of an odd question to ask of a warrior like Zeke, but sometimes you just have to go hide a helmet.
Well, I think like anything, you got to remember that these guys, especially Zeke, the players have been here a long time. They're very close relationship with the medical staff. So I mean, if he's healthy, this is a health decision that you make on all your players every week. So I mean, if Zeke's fitted to be healthy, then he'll play, and and then we'll look at the game plan and so forth. So I thought he looked. We didn't do anything full speed yesterday. We had a jog through practice. So we'll see how he looks today.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Don't adjust your calendar nor your clock. Yes, it's Monday, but it's Wednesday in Coach's World, and we had a nice little holiday break. Coach, with the defense kind of suffering last, and we see what Micah Parsons has been capable of over the last, the entire season. Talk about, the health, and you wait for the cavalry to keep riding over the hill. Is the cavalry near? Are we going to see Gregory and D-Law anytime soon, or is it still going to be patchwork until we can get completely healthy?
Well, we're D-Law was part of the practice yesterday, so we'll see how he does today, and then we'll make a decision on his availability for Thursday. Randy's getting better, so had a really good workout yesterday. Neville, we started his 3-week clock yesterday, so it's as these guys get ready, once again, it's a medical decision once they're cleared, and we feel like they're they've had enough fundamental work that they're cohesion's where it needs to be. We'll get them back in there. That's the plan.
What's your comfortability with your kicker?
I mean, I'm confident in Greg Zuerlein. It's I think when you look at his production, particularly inside of 2 minutes, I mean, he's exactly what you're looking for. He's been 8 for 8 and 8 inside of 2 minutes the last 2 years. I'm aware of the PAT misses, but his misses on his field goal attempts, the majority have been above 50 yards. So, but hey, we gotta be better there, and no one works out more than Greg in the battery there. But I have great confidence in Greg Zuerlein.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us for his regular here on San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Have you ever seen a DB get called 4 times for DPI in a game? Ever before Thursday?
No, I haven't. And
we'll just leave it at that. I don't want to cost you any money. That was one of the more ridiculous things I've ever seen. But when you do know, obviously you scout refs. I mean, that's not uncommon. You knew what was coming, but when you can't do anything about it, I don't know what you do in a situation like that when you've got a player. Do you just pat him on the butt and say, hey, man, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's them. Just go out and play another game. And how do you regulate aggressiveness without affecting the play of the player? It's one of those witchcraft of head coaches that I quite frankly don't understand. How do you handle it?
Well, I think it's like anything in this game. There's an evaluation process. So you coach the penalties. Frankly, we put them in 3 different categories. The penalties in pre-snap are unaccepted. That's just discipline. The pre-snap penalties I'm talking about. But then you have the post-snap penalties, and there's combative penalties, and then there's discipline penalties. So, the ones that are lack of discipline, from the mental capacity, you got to eliminate those. But the combative ones are the ones you got to continue to work through, because those are the ones that usually fall in this area where it's 2 players competing and battling, and you're pushing the edge, being aggressive, but you're just gonna play with a little better technique. So that's really the category we put those in. We study them, we review them, and we just continue to work at it.
Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Saints on Thursday, they're going through their own particular issues. How do you scout a team like Peyton's when you're dealing with the quarterback issues that they're dealing with?
Well, I mean, it's a challenge. You just got to stay on top of all their concepts, which, they're vast in that, and the different schemes and plays that they do to try to keep you off balance. So you got to pay attention particularly to the extra tackle sets, the loaded sets, and because it's a power run game, and Tyson Hills is definitely a component you got to be on top of. So I mean, it's all part of the challenge, and it's just part of this COVID injury phase that you go through when you line up each and every week. So we just got to be on top of our P's and Q's.
I'm curious, Coach, who's playing Taysom on your practice squad?
Ben DiNucci. He's Ben's athletic, obviously not as strong, but just for the type of practice we're having, he's a good fit.
Well, Coach, this is typical of Dallas Cowboys, this stretch here, and we know the history. When the Cowboys do well, playoffs are imminent. When they don't, they don't. You get an opportunity to kind of right the ship, Coach. As you look forward to this little break, I hope you had an opportunity to celebrate Thanksgiving. What was that, Friday? I guess you had a chance. I guess that was Sunday night in your life?
Yes, had a little time there Friday to have a family dinner, but it was great to see everybody.
What was the go-to? We didn't get a chance to talk last week. Your turkey, ham. What's the go-to?
Yeah, just I'm traditional, just the turkey and stuffing, potatoes. So standard Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time today. Good luck. We bid you good health and a good week of practice, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star for his regular. Don't adjust your clock or your calendar. We know it's Monday, but the Cowboys are in the midst of the strange season that only the Cowboys and I guess the Saints in Detroit can truly understand. He is Mike McCarthy, head football coach of your Dallas Cowboys, brought to you every week by AA Best Bail Bonds. I have never seen a game called, I'm not going to say the game was called poorly. I've just never seen a bunch of refs decide they're going to call everything. Anthony Brown with 4 DPIs in one game.
They could have let a couple of those go.
Absolutely they could have. At some point, over officious jerk came to mind. Just, what are you doing? What are you doing, refs? I'm not about letting things go. I'm not allowed, when you watch a basketball game and you hear people screaming, let them play. Let them play. What does that mean? Let them foul? I don't get that. You got to coach around the reffing, but that was ridiculous. And the timeliness of the bad calls. All 4 of those PIs gave first downs. It changed. Those 4 calls changed the game. And I guess it was right before the game. I don't remember who it was. Somebody certainly of Dallas Cowboy in the blogosphere and wrote about these were the over officious refs, that they were road refs, that the games they had called, the road team was 8-3. One of those 3, of course, was the Dallas Cowboys. We had that crew the first week against Tampa Bay. Didn't turn out. I think that needs to be addressed because penalties are like a virus. Once they catch on to a team, you can't let it go. It's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I do think it's a little bit of the refs going by tape that they've seen in the past. But once that starts getting hold, it is hard to let go. You become a highly penalized team. They're going to have to let that go. The offensive line, I think, will be significantly better once we get some continuity. I did notice that Coach McCarthy, and I do recommend you go back and listen to the interview. Follow us on our socials. That's SA Sports Star. They'll be tweeting around all day long. Or go to the audio vault brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. That he's finally got, Coach McCarthy, 5 offensive linemen that can play out of the 7. Terrence Steele goes into the COVID protocols today, but I don't think he'll be greatly missed. And we might finally see that starting lineup that we haven't seen since week 1 with Lael Collins starting at right tackle and Tyron Smith starting at left. We'll talk more Cowboys, but first, let's get you caught up on the headlines. Things are happening quickly out in the sporting world. Karl got them for you. It's time for the 411 in the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Leonard Fournette stars on the field in the locker room as Tampa Bay Buccaneers rally past the Indianapolis Colts. The Tampa Bay Bucs running back not only had 4 touchdowns that propelled the team to a 38-31 road victory over the Colts on Sunday, including a gashing 28-yard touchdown run with 29 seconds left. He also gave an impassioned halftime speech that resonated with teammates after they were down 24-14 at the half. I was like, you just have to have a will and a want, said Fournette, who rushed for 100 yards on 17 carries and added 7 catches for 31 yards. You have to be willing to risk everything, play by play. You have to want to win. You have to want to fight each and every play. I think they understood that message, and that played their lights out.
Be very afraid of a running game with Tampa Bay. If Arians gets that team running, look out, man. That was of the weekend's wins. The one that mattered the most to me was that one. On the road against a Colt team that has the formula. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, it took a while for them to get to the running game, but when they did, it was effective yet again. They won. They beat a very good team. The Tampa Bay, that's a frightening team to watch them. Of all the teams that had success over the weekend, I put them just above New England as the ones that had the biggest wins. Go ahead, Tampa. Look out.
And that also helps me out as an Eagles fan because not only did Carson Wentz play the game, but they also lost. So that first-round pick getting a little bit better and a little bit closer to being the Philadelphia Eagles.
Completely agree, man. Just a little bit closer. It's a little bit more draft pick, and the Eagles proved yesterday they still need it. Moving on.
Headline 1.
Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook carted off the field with a shoulder injury. He is to have an MRI today on Monday. Cook was injured after being brought down by Niners defensive tackle Kevin Gates following a handoff. The running back lost the ball in the process of being tackled and immediately grabbed for his chest with his right arm when he hit the ground.
As a Dalvin Cook owner, I'd like to apologize to the rest of the Minnesota Viking world. Scold you because I drafted him. Of course, he's going to get hurt. I'd like to apologize also to the Carolina Panthers ownership and management, as I also drafted your running back. It's the Mambo King curse continues. Man, Dalvin Cook had a good game going too. And I'm watching the red zone and I see a touchdown scored. Their backup just looks exactly like Dalvin. Look like the same dude. I thought he got a touchdown. Yeah, they need him. And the Vikings actually looked to be kind of turning things around. Moving along. Goodbye, Dalvin. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Headline 0.
You mentioned this, but it's worth repeating. The Cowboys put Terrence Steele on the COVID-19 reserve list. The Cowboys won't have Steele at right tackle for this Thursday's game against the Saints. The Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy announced on Sunday that Steele has been placed in COVID-19 reserve list. The reason for his placement on the list is not known, but McCarthy said he will not play this week. Steele has started 10 of the team's 11 games this season at right or left tackle. With Tyron Smith back in the lineup on the left side, La'el Collins likely will get the start on the right side against the Saints. And this actually sparked a virtual meeting startup again for the Cowboys as some assistant coaches also tested positive.
That, again, will be the great equalizer as we come down the back half of this season. How well teams can keep their guys off the protocols, because best ability is availability. Right now, it's only coaches, so they expect only – yesterday the Cowboys only had – they were 100%, but Steele was already in the protocol. Depth. You know, we talked with McCarthy more than once this season about the depth required. He likes the 77-man availability, but even then, it's going to be tough as we head down through the season. How can you fill in? The Cowboys have had myriad of injuries. Can't add protocols to this as well. Cowboys got to turn it around quick. Saints are certainly what ails them, cure what ails them, but Peyton, he's coming for the Cowboys too. They lose this week, there are people jumping ship. Moving on.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Well, it's been a long week. Weekend. We haven't had a chance to talk with Sean Rima in a bit. We'd like to see him stop by, and we're going to look around the college football landscape. UTSA loses. They sit at 11-1. Jimbo gives one up late. Is he heading to Louisiana in the Baton Rouge and the LSU job? Lincoln Riley bolts to the West Coast. We'll look around the football world when we come back and hopefully have a nice little talk with Sean Rima. So much to do and so little time to do it. Thanks for hanging with us. This is R&R in the Morning, and you, Lucky Devils, on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. As we sit today and we head into a long holiday break, if you're coming to the end of the year and you're having to deal with, you got teeth issues, I want you to call my friends over at River City Oral Surgery. you've got a toothache, if you need your wisdom teeth out, or if someone has told you that you need to have dental implants, there's only one place to call, and that's River City Oral Surgery. If you've got kids coming home from their college break and it's time for them to get their wisdom teeth out, it's time to call River City Oral Surgery. They're a full-scope oral surgery practice with a difference. Their office is local. It's right here in San Antonio. It's on 1604 across the highway from Topgolf, right there, 1604 and I-10. Dr. Mark Havercorn, the proprietor there. Let me tell you, I've had a chance to sit down with Dr. Havercorn and see the way that he does business, and it's very unique. You see, not only does he treat people of all ages for everything from toothache to wisdom teeth to dental implants, he's a specialist, an oral surgeon, and a medical doctor with years of actual experience. Now, the number you need for patient care is 210-778-0002 to make an appointment. Now, this is the difference. What Dr. Havercorn does is made his practice completely transparent. All the prices for what he does are listed on their website at rivercityoms.com. Go there right now. Check it out. What you see is the price. They're affordable, so even if you have dental insurance, this will probably still cost you less, and financing is available. Let me say that again. They don't accept insurance. That will help you file, but they don't accept it. But the prices that they list are normally cheaper than what you would get even with insurance. I'm talking about implants, wisdom tooth removal, They can take care of it more times than not, lower price than with your insurance. I want you to call them and find out. At the very least, you owe yourself a second opinion, right? Call this number, 210-778-0002. That's 210-778-0002 for River City Oral Surgery. Whether you need a tooth taken out, dental implants, or major facial surgery, there's one physician to call, one doctor to call. That is Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery. Here's the number again, 210-778-0002. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your wallet, and you owe it to your mouth. Call River City Oral Surgery. You'll save yourself some money and go to the very best oral surgeon in San Antonio. That's Dr. Mark Havercorn. Call him today, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Houston Texans fall to 2-9 on the season following a 21-14 loss to the New York Jets in a battle for the bottom of the AFC. Houston is now tied with Jacksonville for the second worst record in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys are going back to virtual meetings following a positive COVID test of offensive lineman Terrence Steele and several assistant coaches. Steele will miss this Thursday night's game against the Steelers. And in the NBA, all three Texas teams are in action, with the Rockets hosting the Thunder at 7, Dallas going up against the Cavaliers at 7:30, and the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Washington Wizards at the AT&T Center, also at 7:30 this evening. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 in 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you looking for a job where you can have tons of fun and make great money? Twin Peaks is the team for you. We're looking for Twin Peaks girls, cooks, bussers, barbacks, and more. Text WORK 4TP to 85000 to apply. That's WORK, the number 4 TP to 85000 to apply.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, 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 we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
'Twas the season of cheer and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma-frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt. When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out. This Black Friday, get the original Peloton bike at our best holiday price ever, $1,495. All access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Thanks to fans like you, you can now buy Kielbasa products just about everywhere. We hope you continue to enjoy our handcrafted, small batch smoked meats because we sure enjoy making them for you. So grab some today and let me know what you think. My number's on the back of every pack. Right by my promise that if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Sports breakfast for your ears. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning. No Rudy J today. We expect him back tomorrow. Couldn't fight the traffic down 35, Sean.
Are you
Reimer,
serious? Oh,
KTSA man. Joining us.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Thanksgiving, I fought the traffic as took me almost 7 hours to get from San Antonio to Dallas last Wednesday.
Oh, my God.
And with no real reason. Never saw an accident. Never really even saw a cop. It was just nonstop.
Wow. What's that
awful.
normally? What kind of drive is that normally?
I can make it. I have a personal best of 4 hours and 20 minutes from my home to Farmers Branch, which is North Dallas, to give you an idea what it was like.
Good Lord, man.
Man, we got to do something about 35.
35 sucks.
It's just my entire life, and I know this is nothing new to anybody who's made this drive, but if you're a city like Waco, you can't just decide we're going to cut off all traffic south of us. There's only one way south. You got to come through us.
Right.
So we're going to block off about 10 miles of road, take it down to half a lane, not just one lane, half a lane for the next 5 years. You can't do that, man.
Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to drive 35 anymore. I lived in Cibolo when I first moved out here.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you never knew. My partner Trey's always like, so it's going to be a 4-hour drive home.
So how was the family gathering? The Thanksgiving?
It was good. You know, I ate a little too much, and I have diverticulitis, so I got the divers going here, which is why I'm walking funny. But the divers.
Is there something you shouldn't eat? You ate anyway, or is it just
I think it's just overeating? Because I can't eat nuts. I can't eat sharp objects.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I eat way too much of anything, it kicks in, and so I'm suffering a little today.
Did y'all do the standards?
Yeah, turkey, the yams, green bean casserole,
of course,
pie.
You a pecan or chocolate or pumpkin? What's your go-to?
I think I like apple pie the best.
Oh, there you go. Did you have one?
I did.
I did not have an apple pie.
You didn't have an apple pie?
No, I had.
That's a sin against
sweet potato or pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
I
like sweet potatoes, but I like pumpkin pie.
Do you do sweet potatoes with the just like pumpkin? I mean, we do sweet potatoes, and we have sweet potatoes, which are like, with the marshmallows and everything on top.
Right.
And then we have pumpkin, and I can't really tell the difference. One just goes on my plate, and then one goes for dessert. But essentially the same.
One's a dessert. My wife made candied yams for the first time this year, so they were pretty good.
That's the way to go. That's tough.
So
have family in?
No. Well, my mother-in-law came over. That's about it.
So no fist fights after dinner.
No fist fights after dinner. Just I'm trying to keep my emotions together because Matthew McConaughey is not running for governor, and I'm.
Oh, was that announced today?
Yes.
So he talked his good friend
last night. Yesterday,
his good friend Beto talked him out of it.
I don't know. I think he was just full of crap. Go back to your bongos, man.
So for the next 4 weeks, what do we got going on in the outside world? Is it just a race to the first?
I got the Ghislaine Maxwell trial that's starting off today.
Right. Some trafficking action.
We got this new COVID variant that we're talking about.
Omicron.
Sounds like something out of a damn Transformers movie, but got to deal with that. So
it's going to be a busy one. Sean Reimer, check his stuff every day right here on KTSA, our brother station. We haven't talked a whole lot about the college football world. I think first and foremost, the news today is going to be Lincoln Riley heading to USC. Which is huge. USC needed this. USC definitely needed to go get themselves a high-end coach. They've been awful for too long. But in his absence, as he exits OU, Bob Stoops is going to step in and coach through the bowl game. Now, in the meantime, he's not going to be their full coach. He's the interim
really?
coach.
Bob Stoops? I didn't hear this. Bob Stoops is coming out of retirement to coach the bowl game?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to come out and close the season out as they go for a search. Shefty is telling us that they had circled Cliff Kingsbury to come from the Cardinals back to OU. I'm all about being proud of who you are, but come on, OU. You think you're going to pull Kingsbury out of a playoff run and a team that he's put together to come back and coach in college? I don't think that's likely.
And why would you want one of the few Texas Tech coaches that has a losing record at Texas Tech?
Truth. I don't get that call. I don't know where OU is going. What do you think LSU is going to do?
Is it too late for Tom Herman again? Doesn't really make sense because you think that they would go with a home run hire, but who would the home run hire be?
I think it's Jimbo. In their minds, I think it's now Jimbo or James Franklin. I had heard on Friday from one legitimate source, one guy that I truly trust, that very much a part of the OU football program, that he was gone, that it was rippling through the athletic department that Lincoln Riley was leaving, but he was going to Baton Rouge. He was going to LSU. I don't know if USC came in with a Godfather offer late in the game or it was never part of it. But as they wave goodbye to Ogeron, and, Jimbo certainly didn't bring his A game, I would say, against LSU. I don't think he's going that direction. He certainly said everything correct. But, there's something about me that says this isn't a completely done deal until they actually announce their next head coach.
Somebody that I always thought would be a good college coach if you wanted to go that route would be Doug Peterson, the former Philadelphia Eagles coach, and that kind of fits that SEC coaching style narrative. I don't know if he's anywhere near that kind of conversation, but that's the kind of home run hire I would expect. Somebody who won a Super Bowl within the last decade and maybe going down to the NCAA level for these college jobs, even though they're not NFL, they're still top jobs in football.
I saw Arch Manning tweet something out and made it feel kind of like Mississippi is certainly still definitely in the running to go play there. I still believe that the LSU coach will be the one that Arch Manning says I will play for him. I don't know who that is. Could be Jimbo.
I believe Jimbo when he says he doesn't want to leave College Station.
I do too, but the quote that will live on is, "Am I going to LSU?" No. That was, at least we got a little bit of truthfulness out of Lincoln Riley, but he made it sound like he wasn't leaving for anywhere. He just talked LSU. The chaos that happened when Michigan took down Ohio State. I don't know what to think about this Final Four. I do believe that Cincinnati will fall in by default. I think since Cincinnati is going to go in, I don't think Notre Dame will be invited. Only two definites in my mind as we sit right now are Cincinnati probably at 4 and Georgia at 1. I don't know who 2 and 3 is. I think Alabama has an opportunity to win themselves into it. But as I sit now, I don't think I would vote them in the top 4, even though it was a great win on the road against an Auburn team that did everything they were supposed to do to win. Maybe Bryce Young and his Heisman moment was enough to keep him there, but I just can't put them in my top 4. But I don't know who I would replace them with. Oklahoma State? Well, if I'm the committee, that will be taken care of this weekend, right? Oklahoma State can make their statement next. So do you put them in now and let them hold their position, or do you wait for them to get a win and win their way in? I don't know. They certainly have not gone according to the scoreboard in the past.
The playoff committee will do what they want. And the funny thing is, I heard a statement start from one of the playoff committee. I can't remember who it is, but one of the selection board members aside from watching the games, and then they went on to make their point. It's like, no, watching the games is your job. You have to decide from watching the games how these guys go out there and do what they do. And Alabama's only loss was to Texas A&M. Is this the typical dominant, almost on the level of World War II Army Alabama teams that Nick Saban has coached in the past? No. But it is still Alabama. They're still only a one-loss team, and they deserve almost a benefit of the doubt to be guaranteed a top 4 spot. And I think that that's probably what's going to happen.
If they lose to Georgia, would you put them in?
No.
I wouldn't either. So does the committee go ahead and say, we're going to put you in as, if you play through, you're going to stay where you are? Or is it one of those, I put you out of the 4, but if you win, you're in? Because why sit there with the expectation that if they're losing, they're out? So I would put them on the outside looking in with the expectation is if you can beat Georgia, you're in, and then you and Georgia will both go. Then it'll make our decision-making even that much more difficult, though I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. They're going to have 2 losses, so you put them out. Certainly they're better than Cincinnati. There's no question there. Certainly they're better than Notre Dame. Certainly they're better than Oklahoma State or OU. But the committee certainly will go, hasn't gone by scoreboard. It's going to be very interesting tomorrow, Tuesday.
And this is why we need the expanded playoffs, because it's a no-brainer if they're in a 12-game playoff, but they're not. They're in 4. You have to pick 4, and it's a tough decision. That's why they bring on the committee. And what was it, the BCS? It was all a supercomputer deciding who the national champion was, or the 2 teams. So, yeah, maybe sometimes the computer would actually be better than the human error that we have in here. So I just can't wait until they expand the playoffs, because Alabama deserves a shot at the national championship.
Do you have any idea who the Heisman Trophy winner is?
No. I don't think it's clear cut at all. And, the crazy thing is there's, I think, 169 Heisman voters, and they're the most random people. You'll find that it's crazy. Like, you remember Poppy from Highly Questionable? He was
Levitard's dad?
Yeah, Dan Levitard's dad was a Heisman voter. So I don't know how they decide these things these days.
Is this the year that we should have a defensive lineman, a defensive player win it? Did Michigan, Alden Hutchinson, did he get himself up there? Because that was a hell of a game.
I think you have a point there.
Because offensively, the running back from Michigan State, I have been impressed with. I think he's the best running back in the country. Quarterbacks, I don't know. Bryce Young, that was a hell of a touchdown pass to close things out. That was against Auburn, so everybody's talking about him having his Heisman moment. But I think this should be the year that a defensive player gets it. It's been a bit. Last guy to get it, I think, was a Michigan alum, wasn't he?
Yeah, let's start a little petition for him.
Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan, taking down Ohio State. Who'd have thought? Who'd have saw it coming? Hey, we're going to put a bow on the show. Look forward to halftime and the Blitz. As we go to break, here's something you can do. Go ahead and get yourself registered for Dallas Cowboy tickets. We got them all season long. For you to win them, all you got to do is go to sasportstar.com, get yourself registered, and you too could be going to a Dallas Cowboy game in the beautiful Jerry World. Coming back, a bow on the show, and looking forward. You are on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If it's rim wrecking board busting action you want, then come and get it.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
The greatest ballers on earth are doing their thing on the hard court, and we bring it to you. Catch the action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
How's your cell phone coverage? How's your cell phone bill? You know, a lot of big carriers overcharge you for unlimited data. They brag about coverage, but that's only if you live in the city. This is Greg Akagi. I've been an agriculture director for over 20 years, and I know what people outside the city need. Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you great 5G coverage for about half of what Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge you. The average family saves over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or save on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data. is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With their U.S.-based customer service, I believe in the way Pure Talk treats their customers. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say half off.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
At Allstate, we've been saying you're in good hands for a long time. But what exactly does that mean? Does it mean you're protected from life's uncertainties? Does it mean you can worry less and live a little more? Does it mean you're not alone, even when things get kind of hard? Actually, yes. Yes, it does. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
Unjunk your sleep at Mattress Firm's Cyber Week sale and wake up a better you. Shop in-store or online and save up to $500 when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase up to a $499 value. Or save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America. And you can shop with confidence thanks to our low price guarantee. Unjunk your sleep, only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. See details at mattressfirm.com.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you cooked on the grill or smoker, and you can win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. Grilling with the Blitz. Online at sasportstar.com.
Everything's bigger in Texas. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is R&R. You are on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Rob Thompson. Joined, as always, by Karl. You spent the weekend, of course, traveling around, but you called a couple of Austin Spurs games. The Spurs going off tonight. They have the Wizards in town. Spurs get a win against Boston. What was Primo? How did Primo look over the last?
He looked like an 18-year-old. Yeah, I think he had 18 points. It was a blowout, by the way. I think it was like 30-18 in the first quarter, and then it wasn't that close after. And I think Primo had 6 assists and 7 turnovers, or maybe they flipped that. But yeah, it was I think a 1 of 5 shooting night for him from 3. So it wasn't the best Primo night, but that's why you send these guys down there, because you eventually want Primo to develop these skills where he can, play better than he did right there. And it doesn't cost you an NBA game. It's just a G League game. And that's sort of the beauty of the G League. Really doesn't matter that they won or they lost. They got their young guys some reps that they can look at game film on, and it's not detrimental to the actual NBA franchise.
Is there anybody on that roster that could hit a 3 on a regular?
Wieskamp. Joe Wieskamp's a pretty solid three-point shooter, and Primo is too. But that's the funny thing about being a volume three-point shooter. If you're going to try and average 40-something%, there are going to be nights where you're 7 of 10, and then there's going to be nights where you're 1 of 5.
Right.
That's just how it is if you're a volume three-point shooter. And both of them had off nights. As a team, I want to say the Spurs finished there was a point where I think they were like 3 of 25. Something along those lines. It wasn't a great shooting night for the Austin Spurs.
Well, it's also part of the varsity team. 6 threes the other night against Boston. I mean, I guess the most impressive takeaway from the game was that the Spurs did get behind, and because they've gotten behind late in the fourth and battled and they haven't really won, there was a nice little scrap to close the game out. It was exactly what we wanted to see from the Spurs. If they'd have played like that, we'd have probably see at least 3 more wins. I think a lot of these losses have been just due to, I don't know, first of all, they can't shoot, but secondly, teams they need to learn how to win. And I think that at least showed that you're seeing a little bit. And more than anything else, think about the time that the Spurs have had over the last week to actually practice. You could tell against the Celtics, there was practice there. They just felt a little bit tighter. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a big part of this young group is they need practice time. Last year, geez, because of the COVID shutdown after, if you look at it, last year there was a 21-game stretch before they had to shut down for like 10 days, 2 weeks because of COVID. They were 14-7. And then afterwards, there was no practice time because they had to play, 40 games in 50 days or whatever. It was ridiculous, the second half of the season, especially after the All-Star break. I don't know how they got through last year, really, but this year there's finally some practice time to help them out.
And you could legitimately tell on Sunday or Saturday. The lack of Thaddeus Young is becoming
a bummer.
It's a bummer, but this is intentional.
Yes.
It feels like there's times when I felt like he should come in and he doesn't. So it's not like it's part of the flow of the game. This just feels like he's part of a deal or we're saving him or something. It just felt like, especially there in the fourth quarter when we were getting a little bit out rebounded and we looked a little soft, that Thaddeus would have been a nice step in. And we only saw him for I'm looking 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I find that very, very interesting. And especially when we were looking at lineups when we've got Bryn Forbes out there with Eubanks at the same time. It's just that's a little tiny lineup. And as we look forward to the next week, I do think we're seeing some changes, some slow shifts. And one of them is we saw a lot of Trey Jones, effective Trey Jones. And I have a feeling we're going to see more Trey, and the better he plays, especially if he's got any kind of semblance of a three-point threat of a shot, we'll see less and less of Bryn Forbes. Bryn is a net negative just about every time he sets foot on the court.
Oh, man. Well, sorry to change the topic on you here, Rob, but we have some breaking news.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, right? So
3-note sting. Let's do this.
This is breaking news from San Antonio Sports Star.
This one is courtesy of Steven here on our Facebook feed, and I had to double-check it. So Adam Schefter reports that Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy has tested positive for COVID.
Oh, well, that must have just come back. We had a nice long discussion with Coach just a little under 3 hours ago. I heard a little cough in there. He told us when we spoke with him that he was that the team tested 100% negative yesterday, but now Coach is in the protocols going up against the Saints on Thursday. Dan Quinn might have to come and spend some time on the sidelines, straighten his hat out and stand on the sidelines. That is huge news. McCarthy in the protocols as we sit today. Breaking news that Mike McCarthy has tested positive. He'll join Terrence Steele and a host of coaches that have sent the Cowboys onto the Zoom protocols. They are expect to practice today, though. It looks like Coach will not be there for practice today. And I would doubt for Thursday if we need 2 negative tests.
Yeah, Terrence Steele was already been ruled out, and he tested positive on Saturday or Sunday when we found out. So I would imagine the coaches have the same protocols. Is it possible to get a bubble for the coach? Can he just be in a bubble, like an actual physical plastic bubble?
Well, I know for a fact that actually once the positives were starting to break, that Coach moved into the hotel. He's not staying at home. And I think he moved into the hotel after Friday night. So at least he's bubbled himself, and I think that the Cowboys probably will bubble themselves down. They're in a unique position in that they have a hotel on premises. They're up there at the Star. There is a locale where the coaches can literally stay and get away from their family. This is getting out of hand.
It is. They went to virtual meetings this past week because of it. I want to say 2 assistant coaches, an assistant offensive line coach, and another one somewhere I can't remember exactly. And then on top of Steele. So, yeah, this is something that we got to all be careful with, not just the football teams, but yeah, this is a major blow to a team that is trying to get out of a 3 or 4 game losing streak.
They do get the Saints on Thursday night. It will be right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to be hitting the streets all week long, and we'll be out and about on Thursday. I'll be out at Twin Peaks on Thursday. And Jason Minix, I got to find where he is going to be as we get prepped for the
he's everywhere.
Yeah, Jason Minix is out all the time. Jason will be at RJ Saloon on Thursday to go check it out. Great bar to get ready for the Dallas Cowboys. It's all brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. He'll be out at R&J Saloon, and I will be out at Michael Jimenez will be out at Twin Peaks on Thursday afternoon. So as we sit on a Monday, and we got to put a bow on the show real quickly, the UTSA goes down. They're 11-1. I want you guys to make it a point. Go check out the socials. Listen to Coach Jeff Traylor. He joined us earlier today. I've never heard a coach come on and apologize for an 11-1 season, but that's where they sit. Let's fill this dome on Friday. It's got to be packed with oranges. They take on Western Kentucky, playing against a quarterback from Victoria, who is, by Jeff Traylor's estimation, the best quarterback in the NCAA and certainly the best quarterback they've played against. It was an ugly game on Saturday. Hey, we're going to go check the tape. We're going to practice hard. We're going to be better tomorrow. Thanks for hanging with us today. This is R&R in the Morning. Don't forget, halftime gets going at noon with Mike Jimenez. Y'all be cool.